Ooh la la.
Ooh la la.
Why, hello, Mr. Bond.
Hello?
Do you want to die? You do? Good, because I'm going to kill you. Bang. There you go. That's the end of every fucking Bond film from the beginning of time.
I'm feeling a bit delicate because I don't want to be disgusting.
Okay, I was going to say emotionally or...
No, delicate as in physically delicate.
Oh.
Not ill, but my body has been on lockdown, shall we say, for the last 3 days.
Okay.
Do you understand what I mean when I say that?
No.
I don't think I've not been diagnosed with IBS, but I'm pretty confident I have IBS.
Okay.
And I've been on the side of my brain's been like, you need to go to the toilet now. And my stomach's been like, yeah, you should probably go to the toilet now. It's been 3 days. And the men downstairs have been like, nah. That's not happening.
Nice. Nice.
We're not even opening this door for a fire, mate. It ain't happening.
We share such lovely things on the podcast.
Yeah, so I took matters in my own hand this afternoon, and said to the wife, we're having a Indian takeaway before I go to the curry because I've got to do something about it. Well, I had it, and 10 minutes later, the doors opened. So that's where we're at now.
Nice. So you're going to shit on my sofa at some point.
No, I've done it.
Yeah, you've done it now, but you've
And
opened the floodgates.
Now I'm in that area afterwards where you're just like, you're feeling a little lighter.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean. No, fair enough. I understand where you're coming from there. Was that what you were going to rant about this? But no.
That was just something that just came to my head.
So I've got something. It's not a rant. It's just something. Literally, I've just got back from France. Okay, and we decided. Monsieur.
I see you're looking sexy.
And there goes the French market. Oh well. Yeah. So I came back and I said to Jim, look, I really don't want to cook. I know we've got steaks tonight. We can have that another night. I want fish and chips. It's a hot day. Fish and chips. Sounds good. So I went and got fish and chips and came back and we sat down at the dinner table. There's T sat in his high chair, living the best life of ignoring the food that we've given him and just throwing it around. And we discovered that recently then if you just move it out of his sight, stick it on your own fork and then feed it to him, he accepts that because he thinks it's something else. Anyway, it's not even that. And we decided to have something on the TV in the background, and we put The Wheel on. Have you ever watched The Wheel?
No, I don't know.
It's quite a good quiz show. It's 3 random people, and they get brought up, and every time they get a question wrong, they go down, and it chooses another one randomly. And there's a ring of Z-list celebrities the majority of the time who help them get the answer.
Okay.
And I'm answering a question, and what was the question? It was something like, which of these is the biggest shark? And they had the great white, the great hammerhead, basking, or the great... was it the great hammerhead? Great white, great hammerhead, the basking, and one other.
It's basking shark, right?
Well, exactly. So I said basking shark before even the answers had come up.
Yeah.
That's the answer. Brilliant. And she came up and just said, possibly... It's a compliment, but it's one of those ones that you can call a backhanded compliment. So you think, oh, that's really nice. And then you think about it, it's like, hang on a moment.
This is what Jem said to you.
Yeah, so this is what Jem said to me. You know a lot of useless crap. You should go on a quiz show. So it's like, oh, hang on a moment.
Yeah.
Oh, but it's really nice that you think I'm that good, but hang on a moment.
Oh, she's not wrong.
Oh, no, absolutely. No, she's not wrong at all. My brain is full of such useless crap.
Depends on what you define as being useless,
Well, also, you know what would happen. I'd be the one that's like, yeah, I've got this great repertoire of useless knowledge that no one ever needs to know, thanks to all the random podcasts I've listened to and all the random things I've read throughout my life. And I'd go on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and I would use all the lifelines on the very first question and then get it wrong still.
Yeah.
That's exactly what would happen. It would come out to be like the most bizarre, stupid sports question, and that is exactly where I'll fall flat on my face every time.
I get nightmares like that. That kind of thing, yeah. I get
It'll be something along the lines of, it won't even be a sports question that I can probably answer. It'll be something like, in kabaddi, during the first half, what rule is rarely known but can be employed by the opposition team?
Yeah.
I know kabaddi's a sport, but this is it. Thank you, daytime TV on a Saturday on Channel 4. During growing up in the 90s, when we used to get to watch things like kabaddi or Kickstart, if you remember that one.
Which one?
Kickstart was the kids on motocross bikes doing the kind of stunt tracks where they'd have to go up and down logs and things like that. It used to be a early morning Saturday TV, kind of around the 9-10 o'clock. It used to do Kickstart, and then you'd end up onto something like Eurosport, where you'd get things like Kabuddi or just weird and wonderful sports put into there. But yeah, it was that sort of era anyway. More useless knowledge that I have. But anyway, sorry, that's all I wanted to say. But did you say you'd got around
I've
for
got
the
an
intro?
issue. I want to know at what point did a 99 start costing £3?
What?
And at Willow's Farm, they cost £3.30.
Oh, don't get me on. We love Willow's Farm. This is just for those that obviously that don't know the gloriousness of Willow's Farm.
Margate.
It's basically Margate, Luton, and it's a little farm. It used to be a lot cheaper than it is. And
It's £33, I think it costs for all three of us to go.
yeah, it sounds about right. We about 40 because we took our mother-in-law with us, and it's just such a sharp price increase, and I don't honestly think there's enough there now to warrant the price. We got the vast majority of the day there, and it was really good fun. Really enjoyed it, really loved it. The kids absolutely loved it. But the price just does not match what they actually have there anymore. I don't think it's good enough for it.
I hope they're charging that much because they plan to use it on doing the place up a bit.
I hope so. Part of me thinks it's down to COVID and the loss of earnings. They're trying to make up for it.
Because it's so much smaller than a lot of the other ones. I can't remember. There's quite a big one that's not too far away from us. But
there used to be one up in Letchworth called Standalone Farm, and that used to be quite a good one.
What I like about Willows is actually you can get right up to animals. They give you get the food. It's a £1 or something. Doesn't seem so bad. All three of us can use a bag.
Yeah.
And if you get the goats at the right time, not right in the morning because they're not interested, they all come over, and the goats are quite gentle. Well, at least the goats they have at the front end are gentle. Yes. They put the naughty animals at the back.
What I've noticed as well, which was nice, the last time we went was a good couple of years ago now, and they used to have the petting time, and you used to do it inside their little barn bit. So you'd go and all sit in a circle, and they'd bring a chick out and then pass it around. They'd bring out a guinea pig and pass it around. They'd bring out a rabbit and pass it around. But now that's outdoors, which is really nice. And I noticed they now put a goat in there as well. So
yeah, there's a baby goat in there.
Yeah, you can have a baby goat, you can have the rabbit, you can have the chick.
We got the rabbit.
Yeah, Kay got the rabbit, and then we made a fuss of the goat. And yeah, it's nice. It's just too much money.
It's funny because T's at the very bossy stage. So he was sat there and we gave him the rabbit, and obviously the bloke's like, oh, you need to make sure you hold it properly. So I'm there helping him hold it, and he's being really gentle and really good. And he's like going to him around, he's like, Mummy, you sit down there, you get guinea pig. He's like, Daddy, no, you sit there. Goat, you sit there. Because he's ordering us around.
Nice.
Telling us to get other animals and stuff. It's like he wants us to all be in training, but he's so bossy. It's funny.
But that's
very sweet.
It's a nice time to be, because he's just wanting you to kind of enjoy it with him.
Yeah, that's what was nice about it.
He's kind of feeling like, well, if you don't have an animal, you're being left out. So you sit there and you get. I'm guessing it's like being at nursery, isn't it? They get told exactly the same thing, right? You sit next to so and so, you sit next to so and so, and then we'll share everything out. So, oh no, that's nice, man. But yeah, 99 is way too expensive for what it is now. I'd rather just go and buy McFlurry.
Yeah.
Which in effect is the same thing. And
how much are McFlurries?
£2.49, and you probably get a little bit more, and you get the choice of better toppings to an extent.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, bring back the Sundays, which were like 99p, or they're probably like £2 by whenever they were last in, but covered in the caramel sauce, delicious.
It's just that, okay, obviously Willow's Farm weren't calling them 99s, but a lot of the ice cream vans still have the old livery on the side
that
course say 99,
Cadbury,
and then they've got
Sharpies
written the actual price on them. And
but so weird that I don't think anyone has ever got to the bottom why they're called 99s. It was never to do with price.
I thought it was because they used to be 99p.
In some areas, in other areas it wasn't. And then other people say it's to do with the length of the flake in millimetres. It was 99 millimetres long. There are lots and lots and lots of backstories as to why it was called a 99.
I remember them costing 99 pence.
Yeah, but that's because we're old. There'll be people out there that remember when they cost shillings.
The thing is about this one, it was at Gadebridge, and I bought 3. So we all
So you remortgaged.
Yeah, so we remortgaged. And I said to Amanda, I was like, that was £3. And she went, oh, that's good. And I went, each? And she's like, what?
It is. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So hey, I'm just having a quick look here. 1920s. It was decided to incorporate the flakes. If you think if they were 99p back then, that would have been the most expensive ice cream based on inflation.
Yeah, so if they were calling them 99s in 1920,
here you go. So
then 99 must mean something else.
The origin of the name 99 is not clear, but there are a few theories, and this is Bing's Chat GPT AI thing that's telling us this bit. One theory is that it was named by Italian immigrant ice cream sellers in honour of the final wave of the Italian First World War conscripts who were born in 1899.
God, that's long.
And referred to as the I ragazzi del 99, the boys of 99. Another theory is that it was coined by Italian immigrant. No, you've already said that. That doesn't help because you've said the same thing twice. You twat of an AI.
Well done, AI.
Yeah, other people saying that they're historic being sold for 99p, but if it was released in 1920, then, as I said, that would have made it an incredibly expensive ice cream based on what we're saying there. What other options do they give us here? It's been lost in time, claims Cadbury. They don't know either, and they're the ones that make the flake for it. So yes, there you go. Next bit is the Italians. It's also thought that the soldiers' uniform hats had long feathers faintly resembling chocolate flakes. If you've seen a chocolate flake, that does not resemble a feather. So I think that's a load of bollocks. Also, in the days of the monarchy in Italy, the king had a specially chosen guard consisting of 99 men, and subsequently anything really special or first class was known as 99. Now, you see, that actually makes more sense.
That makes more sense.
But yeah, there seems to be a load of reasons. But no, I'm with you on that one. Ice cream is way too much money now. Saying that, even though I said I'd buy a McFlurry, and yeah, if you're out and about, I kind of understand you're stuck paying whatever the ice cream man wants, really, aren't you? But if I want ice cream now, I just go and buy a cheap tub from Aldi at £2 and make it last between us.
I quite like the Sainsbury's own vanilla ice cream. It's quite nice.
Oh, you can't be
got no issues with that.
Dirty, cheap vanilla tub ice cream.
Yeah.
It's full of sugar. It's not made of anything that resembles milk more than likely. The vanilla is definitely chemical, but you can't beat it, and it's good for homemade milkshakes.
Yeah, speaking of sugar, we've got a ghost.
Ooh.
Now that doesn't relate to sugar, but what the ghost is doing does relate to sugar.
Go on.
We have a phantom biscuit eater, which has been discovered by the builders. So
hang on. Rabbit is discovered by the builders.
No, so what it is, I've been getting them biscuits and tea and stuff, and they've got I've set them up a little table where I normally would work out, so that's now their tea area, and I get them loads of biscuits, and I saw that they really like chocolate digestives, so I got them 2 packs. And
sorry, just stop you. Tesco, Miss Molly's chocolate digestives. They're like 30p a pack.
Well, I think
they are really nice.
If the poltergeist is going to keep eating them, then I'm going to have to start going somewhere else to get them. But I put them down, and then they'd been there one day, and I came in the evening, and I went in and I went to get one for myself because I was nicking them myself. And I went in, and one of the whole pack has gone, and then another one had started on, and I was like, "My God, they had a whole pack of large, long McVitie's chocolate digestives."
Oh, well, this is your own fault. You went up and bought McVitie's. Now,
well, what it is I then was like, Sister, I was like, I can't believe they eaten a whole pack of biscuits, and she went, they haven't eaten any biscuits. I was like, what do you mean they haven't eaten any biscuits? There's a whole pack's missing. She goes, no, they said to me, did any of the animals get the biscuits? Because they found the empty packet of McVitie's chocolate digestives in the garden where they were working, and there was only 2 builders that day, and neither of them had a single one.
The trees did it.
Yeah, and the dogs can't get at it.
Squirrels?
I could only think the cat took it off the table and took it out the cat flap. It's the only logical explanation, because Miranda does not eat chocolate biscuits. I eat them, and I'm telling you I didn't do it. And the two builders saying they didn't do it.
Sleepwalking
Well, yeah,
at 3 a.m. when you've had all of 30 minutes sleep because T's let you.
You know I do sleepwalk.
No, I didn't, but I'm going to say
I'd like
you
to
may
know the story of me sleepwalking.
We will do in a moment, but I will say sleepwalkers do eat. So there's a good chance. Did you sleepwalk, eat, and take them outside because you thought you were doing something with the building?
Well, maybe. I mean, okay. Now, I can tell you I know I didn't sleepwalk for multiple reasons. One, I'd have to walk past a camera to get to them, unless I went outside and round the back to the back door. I have to go past the dog room, the back door. I have to go through the dog room, which at the moment I've got a temporary camera up to look
Right,
at.
okay.
So I'd probably have no clothes on and I'd be walking through there, so the camera would have pinged up saying, "What's that small object on my in my viewfinder?"
Available on OnlyFans next week.
When I sleepwalk, I wake up and my thighs hurt. They ache like I've done a workout. Every single time that I've sleptwalked and I've woken up, or Miranda's told me I sleptwalk, I've gone, my thighs are really aching.
Sleep squatting.
Yeah, you know when you get DOMs from working out, I get that on my legs, and it's odd.
You must be doing sleep squats or sleep burpees.
What are the occasions I know? So it's 3 occasions that I know that people have commented on my sleepwalking. Miranda's mum once commented asking, "Do I sleepwalk?" because somebody was walking around the house one night on the night I stayed, and it was me. Apparently, I'd been just walking around the house, scaring everybody.
Nice.
At my aunt's in America once, I got up in the middle of the night, and obviously I was sleepwalking, and these next 2 involve urinating. I went and opened up her study where her computer was, and apparently just dropped my trousers and was about to start urinating on her computer, and Miranda had followed me. Like, no, stop.
Excellent.
To make sure I wasn't going to do anything. And then the other time was when I was still living with my parents. I got out of bed and walked straight down the hallway, went into my parents' room, dropped my trousers, and was about to urinate on the lamp next to my mum's head, but I started the bed. And she woke up just as I was about to do it.
Ah. Now, interestingly, I don't know if it's the same for you or what triggers yours. So Kay is very much like me. So I've only sleptwalked maybe once or twice, and it's never been massive. But when we moved into this house, Kay had a few instances, but she sleepwalks when she's stressed.
Right.
So when we moved, obviously that was stressful for her. And I remember the first time she did it in this house, we sat bolt upright in our bed. She'd walked in the room and she'd just gone, "Tom, Mummy, Tom." I said, "What's wrong? You okay?" "Yes, I just need the toilet." So, "Okay, well, you go to the toilet then." She walked over to the corner of the room, started pulling her little knickers out. It's like, no. Rushed her to the toilet. So that was that. But no, she periodically will, if she's really stressed, she'll cry out in the night, "Tom!" So I'll run it. So, "You okay?" "Yeah." And she just sat straight bolt upright and she's just looking at you. So, okay. Hand on her face and just go back to sleep. Push her down and she just goes straight back down and she's gone. It's wonderful.
Sweet sleep.
One of the ones that I remember for me. So, you've never been in any of my bedrooms, thankfully, just because that would have been weird. But
not yet. I'm working on it.
Don't tell the wife.
They're already suspicious.
Oh God, yeah, they're really suspicious. So my bedroom at my mum and dad's used to have a shower and a sink at the back of it.
Mm-hmm.
And when I started work at the Three Hammers, obviously I was just stressed with learning about everything, because I remember getting out of bed and walking to the back of my bedroom, getting to the sink, and there used to be a glass there. Just above it, to the top left of the sink, there was a glass, and I'd reach it normally, get it down, fill it with water, have a drink, go back to bed. Starting at the pub, I spent a good 2 minutes trying to find glasses under this sink. Mm-hmm. So I'm crouched down, trying, where's the glasses? Why are there no glasses under here? No one's emptied the dishwasher. Where's the glasses? And then I snapped away. It's like, oh.
I'm in my
Stood
room.
up, just brush myself off, get the glasses, and just go back to bed very embarrassed.
Oh dear.
But brilliant stuff. Well, There's not many podcasts that can say they've got a 20-minute intro.
I've got more to talk about.
Oh my
That's
God, you
completely
don't.
unrelated. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's my next time.
Well, we'll catch up with it in a bit then. So let's play some intro music.
Hi, and welcome to, I nearly said Three Dads One podcast. So that was me saying I've got something and instantly said the wrong thing. Channel 84 podcast, where it's the podcast that doesn't end. Yes, it goes on. Do you remember that show?
No.
Lamb Chop.
Oh, yes.
Has it been a year? No, what have I done?
Oh, yeah, you've just wasted another Do You
I've already
Remember?
wasted one. I wasted the Bart Simpson Bible, didn't I?
You did.
Anyway, hello and welcome back. We are here to do a bit more of our favourite films of years.
Yeah, so it's kind of the great big film part deux, if you want to go down the Hot Shots route, or actually no, okay, we'll copy the Hot Shots bit. We'll go for the big film episode part Zwei. We'll go
Zwei.
German.
Part 1 3/4.
Well, nice. Naked Gun.
Oh, that's Naked Gun, though.
Yeah, it's a good
sorry.
series of films, though. Brilliant series. But anyway, yeah, we're going to cover our films. We've got Do You Remember? We've got more Trek talk. And then we'll talk about, did you say we got up to the year 2000 or we had done the year 2000?
Done the year 2000, so we now go to 2001. And
Oh,
we're going to do
really?
it a little bit different. We're going to spend more time, if we want to, on each one. And we'll just get through as many as we get through.
Yeah, like we said last week, we're going to try and avoid doing
Listy.
listy,
Even though it is a
listies.
list.
Yeah,
in
pretty
nature.
much. But we're going to try and make it a little bit more interesting than just reaming off the same things over and over and over again. Because yeah, I can see that getting a little bit boring. I can't believe we got up to 2000 actually, because I'm just looking. Mine was Unbreakable. What was your choice for 2000?
Oh, it's such writing. Snatch.
Oh,
Because
yes.
I listened to it earlier, because then I said about Oh Brother Where Art Thou, and then you're like, oh, you don't like Oh Brother Where Art Thou.
No, I'm not
And
a fan at all.
That's the last thing we talk about on the podcast.
Fine, okay, right. Well, let's get on with Do You Remember then? Do you remember the shit that I bought? Remember? Did you give it a thought? Remember? It's probably tat, that's all. Woo! Nice. And we are back. Right, I've gone first the past couple of times.
Oh, have you? Right.
I think we're drawing on the score now. Is it 4-all?
No, it's 3-3.
Is it 3-all?
Yeah.
No, it must be 4-all because we haven't updated.
No, you're winning now. No, you're winning now because I haven't updated it for the podcast that comes out on Monday. You overtake me, I'm sure.
Hang on, I'm looking at the scores while we.
Because that won't be updated. That'll be from the ones.
So we're a draw on Monday. So it's 3-all on Monday, which is the episode 8 that you just listened to, where you find out about Dido being sexy time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, okay. So it's 3-all. And depending on the result of this will depend if one of us goes into the lead or not. Fine. Okay, we finally got there.
We got there. So my item, I have it at home, but my house is a shambles and I can't find it. And it's not an item that I had an intention of actually using, but because we're doing the film one, I thought I'm going to pick something relevant. So this is a risky one. I actually think we have spoke about this, but it came to me because I saw something anyway. So two of our favourite kind of comedian guys did a show together. These two guys were Rick Mail and Adrian Edmondson.
Yep.
They did Bottom.
They did.
You remember Bottom? I'm sure you thought about that every single day of your life.
A
They did a really good...
a lot of the time.
They did a great film, in my opinion, called Guest House Paradiso.
Yes.
And that's my item.
And I haven't thought about Guest House Paradiso in ages, to be fair.
Yeah.
No, I haven't thought about it in ages. I think about Rick Mail quite a lot because he pops up on my timeline, Twitter all the time, people saying we miss him. And in fact, is it today? So today's date, by the way, is the 9th of June. So we're trying to get these recorded a little ahead of time just because it makes life easier when it comes to editing. I'm pretty sure it was today or yesterday was the anniversary of his death.
Was it? Maybe that's why I saw something then, but it didn't mention that.
Yeah,
maybe that's why I saw something and that's what brought it to me.
I'm sure that's what I was seeing. I can't tell you if it was this morning or yesterday because I've been up since about 4:30 UK time with the whole travelling back from France and stuff. But let me quickly jump.
I want to say the Cheap Show guys
Well,
kind of remind me of that kind of comedy. Does that make sense?
And they would be incredibly proud of you saying that because Paul is a huge fan of Rick Mail. Well, they both are. And absolutely. Oh, yeah, look, 13 hours, 9 years ago today. So 9 years ago.
Yeah, that sucks. I loved him.
Oh, I did. Drop Dead Fred, turning up in Blackadder, Bottom especially.
Woof.
Woof. The young ones, no, I enjoyed the young ones, but I've actually appreciated that more now I'm older.
Yeah, when I've rewatched it, I've liked it more.
But Bottom, in every way, Bottom's wonderful, wonderful stuff.
Well, that's something I didn't know about Bottom.
Go on.
So Adrian Edmondson's character, Eddie
Hitler.
Yeah, I didn't know his surname was Hitler. And then they changed it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So when they did the film, because when I was looking at...
I'm guessing the film studios would never have allowed that.
Yeah, so the film and all the live shows after, they changed it to... It was Elizabeth Eddie Ngomba.
Nice, okay.
I can't even read it. Ndingombaba. Ngombaba.
As you do.
Yeah, they changed his name to that, which I thought was quite amusing. And it seems so fun. Now, what I want to say about it, because there's certain things I remember it, because I can't remember how old I was when it came out. I should have checked when it came out. Let me actually,
so that would have been, I reckon, 98, 99?
99. Well done. So, yeah, I would have been 14. I just remember that the big green blob coming down the hallway at one point. But, so here you guys haven't seen it, the plot is they own like it's almost like Fawlty Towers-esque. You know, they have this...
Hotel?
A hotel, yeah. A guest house, the hotel. And it just goes fucking wrong. But it's the name of two characters. They've got two Italian characters and they're a couple. Which, if you read the Wikipedia, I don't remember this happening in the Wikipedia. I don't really want to say it. But like the guy sexually assaults the girl. I don't remember that happening in the film, but that's what it says in the Wikipedia. So I think someone needs to either citation read that Wikipedia, or I need to watch the film again.
I think we should watch it at some point.
I would really like to. When I find it,
I haven't seen it for years. I think I saw it probably about 99, 2000 when it first came out on VHS. As if I remember right, you had a bright yellow.
Yeah, I've got the DVD
cassette case.
It's like a lime green. And it's one of those cardboard ones that has the plastic fold round the side.
Okay, right. No, this is going to really freak you out now.
Yeah.
So, hi, Teddy. Teddy is an old friend of mine that I used to work with.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm driving.
Does he listen?
He does listen.
Hi, Teddy.
Because
I love that.
I am driving. I'm driving back from Stansted this morning. Mm-hmm. Okay. And can I say, 10:34 a.m. today.
Mm-hmm.
TJ. I thought of a potentially really good Do You Remember thing, which is really cool. Just bear in mind that someone listened a cool thing earlier, but I think it might be too niche. I was thinking about some old films I used to have and watch and remembered the old DVD cases that used to get, specifically the cardboard ones that had a plastic sort of clip at the end.
What?
I think it was when DVDs first came out, so they tried to make them seem fancier. Probably too niche, and from that description you'll either completely know or won't have a clue what I'm on about.
How weird.
That is really, really freaky.
I'm just psychically linked to you, Teddy. Yeah, I had a friend at school called Teddy. Lovely guy.
Oh, Teddy's lovely. I miss the days of... He was there when I joined the company I work for at the moment. And it was him, another colleague of ours called Harris, who's also left. And we used to have a lot of fun. We still go out for drinks every now and then, but it was a lot of fun working with them. So I just thought that's really weird how you just said that.
Weird.
As I was literally going to bring that up in this section and go... Teddy has sent me this as an idea. I don't know if it is too niche. I think I'll just say it. You've just done it.
I think I have a few of them that have that. Not many. That's the only one straight in my brain I can think of that was like that, because I thought it was so different.
My copy of The Matrix, when I first bought it on DVD, was like that.
I think my Clockwork Orange is like that.
Yeah, and I think my
haven't watched it yet.
nephew's copy of the Scooby-Doo film, the first film, was that as well. It's just weird what you remember, isn't it? All of a sudden. That,
yeah.
And it was a very, very... I quite like the design of it, but they just wouldn't have lasted. In and out of a shelf, paper would have started scratching off.
Well, the cardboard front would always push in.
Yeah.
And they would lose their shape a bit, and that... I didn't like the symmetry of that.
No, exactly. So they made the right choice going down the DVD cases now that we have. Really quick question as well then. Have you ever seen the American PlayStation 1 cases?
I probably have, but I can't think of them right now.
They are so much better than our one. If you Google it on your phone quickly, look at...
Are they more like the Nintendo DS ones, but bigger? So I just wasn't...
No, I think they're more like DVD cases more than anything.
Sorry, what? PlayStation 1?
PlayStation 1 American cases. And in fact, telling you what, the other reason I remember the DVD cases so well is because they were similar, not the same, to the Sega Saturn cases. As the Sega Saturn ones were plastic with a cardboard overlay, and they were kind of DVD sized. But the PS...
Showing me a lot of the English-looking ones, plastic English ones.
Oh, yeah, well, no, that's...
Oh, no, there they are. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you know why?
Aren't they so much better?
Sega Saturn. Sega Saturn games were in those cases.
Yeah, exactly. But if they had just been a bit more protective, so maybe not have a cardboard printed on a vinyl or a plastic front,
yeah,
those cases kick the arse of our bloody PlayStation.
I'll put these images on the website.
Oh yeah, absolutely, just in case anyone hasn't got any idea what we're talking about there.
So I just want to say, before we move on to yours, there were two characters, the couple I was saying, Italian couple.
Oh right, sorry, yeah.
Can we guess what they were called?
Are they stereotypical?
Oh, they're so more worse than stereotypical. It's like slapstick and stupidity in there.
Giuseppe?
They're not close. So I'll say the first name of the girl. Her first name was Gina. And the guy was called Gino. So Gina and Gino. So Gina Carbonara and Gino Bolognese.
Oh my God.
How good is that?
That's just genius.
And they had a nice family called... Their surname was Nice. There was a nice family called Mr. and Mrs. Nice.
I like that.
That's quite cute, isn't it?
That is cute. I like that.
And the whole story is they will get poisoned by radioactive fish.
Yeah, you're telling me these things. I'm not going to doubt them, but I honestly can't remember the film that
I don't
well.
remember the film other than the goo coming down. I've always remembered the name of it. And I remember I watched it a couple of times.
I can't even remember if it was considered a success or not.
It's like 6 out of 10 or something on IMDb, something like that. But I don't really care what IMDb says.
I don't. Same with most of my film reviews. You're either going to like a film or you're not. And if you base what you like on what you've read in a review, then there's going to be a hell of a lot of films you miss out on in life. Because every reviewer is different.
I think Wikipedia said the Times gave it 2 out of 5 or something.
Yeah, but
something like that. But then who cares? It's bottom. If you like these two guys,
if you like
bottom,
slapstick,
you like
exactly.
It. That's the
fine. We'll have to dig that one out. Maybe do a Twitch of us watching it.
I've got it, so I just need to find it.
Okay, my turn. So Rob, you get 1 point. That puts you at 4.
I haven't had a point in weeks,
and that leaves me on 3.
Dun, 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 dun.
So what I have bought.
Hoover's going.
Yeah, the robot vacuum's off, and I'm just going to leave him.
What was his name again? Brian? Or
it's
something?
Chris.
Chris.
Chris, the vacuum is off. I am really looking forward to this because I'm going to be able to play it with Kay.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a really good chance that me and you could end up playing it randomly in the woods. And after
okay.
Oh yeah. After me saying I'm going to let him run. No, I'm going to pause him and we'll come back to him later. When I say Sega, that's exactly what comes to mind, which is exactly what I wanted. Now, I want you to picture
that unpredictable.
It's a lovely summer's day. You're in the summer holiday. You've got 6 weeks off. And what you really want to do...
is pay my N64.
No, you want to go out. You want to go outside with your friend. Your friends are there, and they want you to go to Hemel Hempstead with them.
Okay, well, this wouldn't happen. Friends would be singular, friender.
Friender.
And he wouldn't want me to go to Hempstead.
What? So you wouldn't want to go and play Quasar at Hemel Hempstead?
I loved Quasar.
Quasar was amazing, but your mum said, no, you can't go to Hemel because it's Hemel.
Yeah.
What's the next best thing you could have done?
Oh, they used to have those packs you could put on yourself. And if you've got them, that's awesome.
You could go for the Sega lock-on.
Oh my god. Oh man, look at this. You know what it looks like?
And look, there's the Universal Soldier style
I
headpiece.
recognise it. Oh, dude. Yeah,
Annoyingly,
you get a
it hasn't
point
got the
for this.
eyepiece.
You get a point for this, without a doubt.
Yeah, I managed to pick up a pair of these.
And it works.
They're fully working. £14 on eBay for the pair of them.
No,
the
even
only
just
thing
the gun is awesome.
the only thing they're missing is the eyepiece, and I'm pretty sure I can find those at some
That was
point.
just so weird.
It was just a piece of plastic that you could see the 8-bit segment. Yeah, so you could see your 8-bit segment of your life counter. But, you've set off the bomb.
Was that a bomb?
I think so. You had gun and then you had grenade. Yeah,
Okay.
I think that was kind of the super shot that would take down. I can't remember the rules. I have to download the manual, but I was so chuffed that I got those. And that's the original generation. What I didn't realise, there was a second generation of them where the guns change shape. And then there's even the second generation, and they're grey, which I've never seen. So there's like 2 other types out there I'd never seen. These are the ones I grew up with. My best mate, who's actually just over from Canada at the moment, Eddie. Funny enough,
Hitler?
yeah, no, linked to that, we called him Eddie at secondary school because he came in one day and he used to have hair not too dissimilar length to mine, and he had it basically all shaved down to a 1, and he just looked remarkably like Eddie Hitler. So that's what we started calling him, and that's his nickname ever since secondary school has been Eddie. And we used to go down Greenwood Park and run around the woods. He used to have 2 sets of them, so you could do 4-player, 2 sets to team 1, team 2 sets to team 2, and we used to run around the woods for hours playing that.
I'm trying to think how I can imagine what this looks like. So, not quite Blade Runner gun on the hill. It's not as fat as a Blade Runner pistol, if you can remember what that looks like. Sega blue, so that kind of...
Yeah, the sexy Sega blue.
It's like a light royal blue, if I want to say.
Yeah,
and then the hills...
Or those Warhammer people, it's an ultramarine blue.
It's the ultramarine blue. But then it's like, imagine in Call of Duty you have an extended mag.
Yeah.
That's the handle of an extended mag.
It's got a really good futuristic look to it.
And it's weighted really
Well, it's because I can't remember. I think the guns have got C-cell batteries in them. I think it used to take 2 C-cell batteries.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. So, yeah, 2 C-cell batteries. It might even be 3 in there. So, yeah, it gave it a really good weight. But, yeah, we used to have great fun. And one of the things that it used to do as well... I can't remember if it was a setting you did if you held down the trigger in a certain way, but you could set them so when you were playing, and if you could just about see someone and you brought your gun up without pressing the trigger, it was always sending off a passive infrared signal, and the opponent's headset would start going beep, beep, beep to suggest they'd got a lock on you, basically.
Yeah.
Hence the name lock on, I'm guessing. Yeah, no batteries in the headpiece, unfortunately. They take 9-volt square batteries because... Of course
they do.
Ruin your children's Christmas by buying them
Square
lock-on and not
batteries.
having 6 C-cell batteries and 2 square batteries.
No one has square batteries. I'm forever buying square batteries at work.
At
Never
Christmas,
have them.
no one will ever have them. But yeah, right, look at that. It's 4-all. It's a week where we both got a
I'm
point.
glad. I kind of, I want to win, but at the same time, I'm glad we both got a point.
Oh, no, absolutely. But they're missing a trick on the lock-ons. It should turn on and go, Sega.
Yeah, it should do, yeah.
I would have been really impressed with that one. But no, did you ever play on the lock-ons, by the way?
No, I never played them. I only just remember the advert.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's the other one was laser tag, was it?
I think we had the one where it goes on your chest.
Yeah, so there was one that it was basically, you didn't have a backpack.
Well, I didn't
it
have
just
a
had
mark,
the
I
silver front, and it was in like a shield shape, if I remember rightly. And the gun was much smaller. It was a proper kind of little pistol sort of gun. It looked like a proper kind of space alien gun from like the 60s. But yeah, I'm sure that was Laser Tag or Laser Quest, something like that.
It was something like that. It kind of felt like the off-brand one.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you say that. I had one. I can't even remember the name, and if I can, I will find it. I've got it written down somewhere, and I'll put a picture of it up. I had one that was yet another kind of laser tag game, and we bought it from BT's. Do you remember BT's in Watford?
No.
It was the toy shop up near where Destiny
Didn't go
nightclub
to
was in
Watford that often.
Fair enough. So up near where Dysentery nightclub used to be, opposite there used to be BT's toy shop, and it was a hobby stroke toy shop. So you had a load of model rockets and remote control cars and stuff like that, but it also had toy section, and they had this one for sale, and it was this one, and it was amazing because it strapped to your forearm, then it ran down your forearm into a trigger, and it just looked like this really cool kind of built-in futuristic gun. But it only came, you could play against someone if they had one, or they gave you a retro reflective target. So basically if you shot it, you could guarantee whatever angle you shot it, it would fire back and say, oh yeah, well done, you shot it. So it was just cool to run around with.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll put pictures of that up on the webpage. But I think that's enough time on Do You Remember? Because no doubt we're already, in fact, I can already tell you, we're now at 40 minutes already,
We haven't
roughly.
started any films yet.
So yeah, we've not even started the film. So let's get on to Trek Talk. So let's have a sound effect.
Priority 1 message from Starfleet coming in on secured channel.
Isn't Lower Decks Season 2 good?
Yeah, it's wicked.
I genuinely feel the characters in Lower Decks are really, really well-rounded and well-written.
I'm really looking forward to the crossover with them live action. I really want to see how they're going to do it, whether they're going to keep those two as being nutty,
Yeah.
or if it's just like, because the cartoon, are they going to go and say, like, the cartoon one's a different universe? These are these same characters, but in this real world universe. Or are they just going to be, no, these are the same, it's just that happens to be a cartoon?
But then it's time travel. Because we are talking... Lower
they
Decks
go
is
back in time.
TNG.
They'd have to go back in time.
This is pre-TOS.
Yeah.
So why are they there?
Yeah, there must be time travel.
And they're in their modern uniforms, so...
Must be time travel. I didn't even clock that.
Yeah, it's got to be. But I kind of caught up. I rewatched this week the entirety of season 2 just so we could discuss it a bit more. I'm so glad because I thought it was season 3 for some reason, but season 2 has the episode I Excretus, which is
it's so good.
That's what made me write the article about Star Trek and anuses, about everyone getting upset about that.
Oh, it's like a millisecond.
Exactly. It's got a giant black
and
square
they earn
over it.
They earn it too. It's not like suddenly there's just a black cock thing.
Yeah,
not actually a black, a square. It's very contextual to the entire episode.
Well, exactly, but that whole. Just that entire episode, the amount of TNG and TOS love in there.
Funny.
The Boimler just constantly trying to get to 100% and then being told just keep it going and watching him get broken down.
Yeah.
It's just that episode is, I would say that's my favourite episode out of every episode of Lower Deck so far.
Yeah, I've literally got it written here. It was one of my notes to talk about I Excretus.
It's just the love that you can tell the writers have a love, not just for the Lower Deck season that they're writing for, but for the whole franchise, because how they fit everything in. So like the bit we were just talking about, which is where everyone is having the virus that makes everyone lust after each other.
Yeah.
That TOS bit of love there. The TNG stuff from the Borg, or just everything. Everything about that episode is perfect.
It feels like they're all super Trekky and they all love doing something and they all can't believe they're allowed to do it. And like they just can't believe they're allowed to just do these stories that whoever's taken over from Gene Roddenberry is like, sure, go for it.
Oh yeah, God knows what Gene Roddenberry would actually think of this. But I mean, even things like, okay, so I've got down here, I've literally just wrote episode 3, Doctor Box. So they Tendi and they go on the mission.
I didn't want the thing inside the box.
I just want the box. It's just such a wonderful finish to that. Or the fact that Jax and the Doctor are having sex all the time. That they're in some weird little relationship.
So gross, isn't it? The
Baby bear.
Baby bear. He calls and Shax gets called Mother Bear. Did you notice they call him Mother Bear? but you see why he gets told how he's come back, which is really quite funny.
You, Ensign, you know you don't ask that question. And then
Yeah.
later on, when he finally gets around to asking it, it's like, oh, so you found out then?
And he's now traumatized. I'd love in season 3, and you already know, that it then happens to him. I thought it was going to happen to him when he's on that fantasy ship and they pretend he's dead. I thought that was him dying, and then we were going to see him do the same thing, actually come back to life through
that fancy ship episode was again what
every episode
weird but wonderful episode that was.
And that typically isn't one I would think you'd like because it's all fantasy.
But that really kind of sits back to the original series, because the original series, no end of times did they end up, we're on an exploration. We've been found by this planet. Oh, it's the gods from Earth. It's Zeus and Poseidon and all that sort of crap. And the entire idea of it. But then throwing the spanner in it that, yep, he'll be king when he loses his virginity.
And then he can't get an erection. It's so funny. Sorry,
I'm still
we need to
warming
rewind
up.
and just have a massive spoiler warning. We should do a noise that's like the red alert noise, but spoiler.
Okay,
I mean, that's probably quite a common thing that people would do.
I will try and knock one up.
And the what they call the Packleds being so dumb, they're just hilarious. The Packleds.
But that plays so nicely with what we know of the Packleds when we've met them in
Red
TNG.
alarm, red alarm.
It's just like, how did you get outside? It's just, I can't believe he's outsmarted us. I don't think he did.
And he's like,
He floats past.
it kind of reminded me of our logo. I'm pointing at the mug.
Exactly.
Are they in TNG? Are they?
There's in one episode of TNG, the Enterprise comes across their ship and it's broken down. And what they discover is that the Packleds, or this race that are on board, basically don't have their own technology. They steal all the technology that they have.
Which is what they say in this.
And Geordie goes over to the ship to fix things, and he finds things aren't quite right. And what they say is, "You've made us strong again. We're not letting you," and they steal him.
Oh, right.
So then he's got some. It ends with him teching the tech like Star Trek always does in TNG, and he makes them think that they've got torpedoes and that they're really strong. And then the Enterprise vents plasma like it normally does to get out of trouble, and ends up crippling their ship instead. And they let Geordie go back, and it's all done, and they smack their ass and send them on their way.
Right.
So, but it really, they've got everything about the Packleds down to a T in this. They've made them a little stupider, but it was worth it.
There's a callback to another TNG baddie.
Oh,
is it Armus?
Yes, where they killed security officer Yar.
Yeah, I did have to actually go back and Google that episode because I recognised it.
Yeah,
but I was like, why do I recognise it? And then the black blob. So that's where she dies, is it?
That's where she dies. Yeah.
What series is that? 4 or 3?
3 or 4, possibly 3. It's not Annette Crosby. That's Victor Meldrew's wife, the actress. It's something. It's something Crosby anyway. But that's where they kill her off, which is a real shame because her character was brilliant. They could have done so much with her. But again, it's the same like Ro Yarin or whatever her name was that then comes back in Picard.
Yeah,
they could have done so much more with her.
Yeah.
In TNG, and they just didn't. But these things happen.
The shagging gorillas. I'm beating you to all my little.
Okay, well, little points. I was just going to say that I really love the mummy-daughter dynamic that they created, and I really feel like they're friends. You actually genuinely feel like the bridge crew, the lower deck crew, everyone genuinely feels like actual people you'd want to be friends with and be involved with. There's something about the writing and the creation. Less
military.
Yes,
isn't it? That's what I would say.
Okay, well, you said sex gorillas.
Yeah.
Pervert dolphins.
Oh yeah, they
Come
were
on,
great.
Rutherford, why don't you come for a quick splash with us and get
God,
your
you must
shoulders
be hot.
wet?
Cool down. You're really sweating.
It's like, why are the dolphins?
I thought it was just me getting that. I thought maybe because it was a little bit subtle to it, and I thought,
Well, no,
is this
they
a play on
obviously-
that dolphins shag people?
Yeah, it's a play on the fact that dolphins, when they get randy, they go for anything.
Yeah.
And yeah, they just seem to fancy Rutherford because it's not Boimler, it's not a Tendy, it's a,
Yeah.
oh, come on, Rutherford, you look really hot. A nice dip after saving the ship's a really good idea.
Yeah, well, I was almost expecting something to happen to Boyman when he was unconscious. There was going to be something,
Yeah.
and then they chuck him out and go, his
There's a bomb,
blowhole's
there's a blow.
blocked.
I watched that episode on the plane.
How did you not laugh out loud on the plane, or did you?
Oh, I was giggling away to myself.
Yeah.
I've given up stopping myself doing that now. Just things like that just make me laugh, and I'm happy. And if people can't accept that, screw them. But it's Lower Decks. I'm glad you finally got on board with it, because
Yeah.
this is the first time I watched it. I watched the first couple of episodes, and this isn't for me. And it must have just been the mood I was in, because when I came back and rewatched it, I literally binged the 2 seasons across a couple of days.
Yeah.
I loved every minute. I was here for it, and I wasn't going anywhere. And to hear that season 4 is this year, hopefully this year, but Paramount this time. Did I send that to you on message?
You did, yeah. On the way, I saw that.
I'm really excited for it because, again, they managed to end every series and make you desperate to find out what happens. So yeah, series 2 ends with her
The
being
mum
arrested
get arrested, yeah.
for apparently blowing up the Pakled planet. So yeah,
I've still
get
got
on to
more.
series 3.
Episode 10, the little joystick comes out.
Yeah, but
I saw that. I was like, TJ, will
it's done better than they did in the film.
They proper put it front and center on the shot when they do it. Like, they want people to know they've done that. They
Yeah,
didn't
but-
do it subtly.
Yeah, okay, no. So on the Cerritos, he's in the captain's chair, and it pops out.
Yeah.
And that's exactly where you'd expect it to be. In whichever film it is, whether it's Nemesis or Insurrection, whichever one it is, he gets up, walks to the front of the ship, to the front of the bridge, and it comes out there.
So he stands and has to use it.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I kind of remember the joystick, but I don't remember the scenario.
I'm sure
of it.
he's standing. It was just so stupid.
What else happens? The Duplers.
The Duplers
They
are
were quite
very
funny,
funny.
weren't they?
And the bloke that does his voice just turns up in everything. You immediately recognise his voice.
I recognise his voice, but I don't know what he was.
I can't tell you who he is. I'm sure he was in Wayne's World as the security bloke in Wayne's World. Let me have a quick look here. Lower Decks. Good old IMDb coming straight out as normal. If you don't have IMDb, why don't you have IMDb? Though, by the way, they've also gone ahead with Series 5 as well, so that is happening.
Oh, cool.
Which is really, really good. Which episode was Duplers? That was
It's like 9. I
was going to say it's episode 9, isn't it? Right, let's have a quick look here.
While you're saying that,
Yeah,
while you're
go for
looking, so I also did watch the first episode of season 3, and I really like that Boimler is so oblivious to all the beautiful girls on his home planet. He hates Earth so much,
Yeah.
and hates drying grapes so much. He's oblivious to all of these women who are just like all over him and wanting him to go and crush grapes in the back. He's just like, oh, for God's sake. And when one of them comes out, like, right at the end, she's like covered in grape juice and stuff. He's like, oh, help me wash or whatever. And he's just like, oh, for God's sake, whatever your name is, just go and use the hose around the back.
Yeah, that's it. They're all fawning over him,
Yeah.
aren't they? I'm remembering now. Oh no, it was episode 5, An Embarrassment of Duplers.
Oh, was it 5?
Which, you know what? Hang on a moment. Is there an episode we didn't get?
The Duplers. There was on the Duplers episode, but it's right at the end.
That's what I thought, but episode 9, according to IMDb, is the Cerritos crew have downtime during a long warp trip. A Klingon ship
Yeah.
and a Vulcan
Yeah.
one find
Yeah, I've
themselves
watched
all
that.
unknowingly heading... So maybe it's out of order.
It jumps between the Klingon ship, then the Vulcan ship, and the Cerrito. It keeps
Yeah,
jumping.
that's it. Well, no, this apparently is episode 5, An Embarrassment of Duplers.
Oh,
I don't think that's right. I think they've got that in the wrong order, but it'll be what it'll be. There you go. If I show you the picture, him.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't the Wayne's World guy. That's another actor who's kind of similar.
He's the dad in Friends.
Yeah, and he's bing bonging
Is he the dad in
Inside Out,
Friends? Might
and
be the
he's
dad in Friends.
Tussle in American Dad.
I'm lying. He's not the dad in Friends. One last thing about season 3, because I don't want to go too much into it because I only actually watched the first episode. The theme park seemed so realistic to me. That's exactly what would happen. They would have the theme park just like that.
Yes.
In real life. They would definitely do that.
Well, I will catch up on season 3. Anything to avoid restarting Discovery.
Yeah, well, you got to do it eventually.
I will do it. I promise I'll do it. But
just for that last
having seen how much fun Lower Decks was again, I really want to get back into kind of just season 3, especially if we're due season 4 now. So
I think I'm going to try and watch season 3 next week.
Nice.
Yeah.
Any other Trek talk?
No, because I've only watched Lower Decks. Oh, no, I text you. They've got a Stellaris Star Trek coming out.
I haven't actually looked at that.
Well, I think it's Stellaris. That's what I saw people saying.
What's Stellaris?
Hex turn-based
Oh,
thing,
okay, yeah,
kind of like
yeah.
Civ, but in space, a bit more in depth.
No, so that's already out.
But it's Star Trek.
Yeah, because then I was looking, and I've put it on a wish list for if someone wants to get me Christmas presents when it comes to Christmas with family and stuff. We always get asked for lists still. Because you can buy, it's got little miniatures, hasn't it, of the ships as well.
I just saw the trailer. I thought the trailer, because it was on that Summer Games Fest yesterday, I thought the trailer was showing a new game.
Oh, maybe it's a new game.
Doesn't give you any
maybe
release
there's
dates,
another one, but there was a role played game, turn based, that you get little ships, and then you can buy extra boxes which will have things like Borg cubes in there that you can then
maybe
use.
that's just Stellaris and they've done something with it. I mean, I'm only saying Stellaris because people in the chat were going, "Oh yeah, this is Star Trek Stellaris."
Oh, okay, fine.
It doesn't actually it doesn't say that specifically when you watch the trailer, and it doesn't give you any dates or anything. I don't think.
Oh, fine. I'll give that a watch later, and I'll tell you if it's the same thing I've seen then. But cool. Right.
That's it.
Okay. Well, I've forgotten what sound effects I use here, but I'll insert it now. So it's part 2 of the film spectacular. So if you haven't listened to that episode already, go and listen to it. It's quite long. It's us listing off films. But the idea was I came up with a spreadsheet that had my first film for what would be my choice per year since the year I was born, which was 1984. And that then rapidly became Rob joining in, and you did a top and second place, if I remember rightly.
Yeah.
So I then took it one further and did first, second, and third place, and then one that I wouldn't watch at all. Yeah. And then we decided we'd talk about it. So I haven't got your list in front of me.
No.
So I have no idea what you've selected. You've really been able to see mine because mine's been up on the webpage for ages, and we will put Rob's up when we finish talking about all of them. But where we left it then, we already said in the episode, was the year 2000. I just said my top film was Unbreakable. Rob, you'd gone with Snatch, the Guy Ritchie film of, guess what, the year 2000. So take us into 2001.
You'll hate me straight away because it's Lord of the Rings.
And hate is a really strong word. I didn't like what they did with the franchise. That's all. And I didn't like the filming style, which is strange because it was meant to be... It was filmed in a weird frame rate, if I remember, wasn't it? It was one of the first times that Peter Jackson had done...
Well, did he do it in 60? Did he?
He did it in a different frame rate to normal, if I remember rightly.
I don't remember that.
But I kind of just... For me, and this is... I think I've said it on the podcast, this is one of the only films I've ever walked out on. I took my mum, So 2001, I was 17, I was earning money. I said, I'd like to... Dad's gone out for the night. He'd gone to play table tennis with the club as he normally did. Why don't I take us to the cinema? So we got the 321 up to Watford. We had McDonald's. We went in and we watched the film. We got about a quarter of the way through. And it's just, for Mum, The Lord of the Rings is one of her favourite books.
Mm-hmm.
And she just said, I don't know what they've done to the story, but they've changed too much. And then both of us agreed that the battle scenes, as immense as they were, so much is going on and there's so much movement. I couldn't focus. Everything just seemed to be a blur.
I I was completely unfamiliar with Lord of the Rings until I watched the films. I had not even heard of it.
But you know what? That's sometimes the best way, because it's things like The Martian, which I think is on my list for later, hint, hint. The film was amazing. Then I read the book and thought, wow, why didn't the film have... It would have just been one little... Don't get me wrong, it's not that dissimilar, which is nice.
Yeah.
But Lord of the Rings, again, I guess there's just a few bits in it that I don't get why they changed. I should probably give it another try now I'm older. Bearing in mind, 2001, that's 22 years ago.
Yeah. I just want them to keep re-releasing more extended cuts. With the
17 hours
yeah,
for a film, not enough.
I'll watch them. Like I will watch, because they brought them out in 4K as well. I went and brought them in 4K. Like, I've got every iteration I can think of that I know of those 3 films. I absolutely love them.
Yeah, but this is my point, and this is what we were saying earlier about listening to people that review. If I reviewed the film, I'd tell people I didn't enjoy it. And that's if you follow our webpage and you look at the reviews I've put up, I think hopefully you'd notice none of my reviews say you should not play this or you should not go and see this film.
Yeah.
I try and go for the positive points. If there are negative points, I will obviously say them, but I rarely, if at all, do I say, do not go and see this film, or it'll be an absolute waste of your time. I think Fast and the Furious, the closest to that I got was, if you're not dead set on seeing it in the cinema, you're not missing out. Something along those lines. It's one that if you didn't want to spend money on the ticket but waited for streaming, you're not going to miss out the big picture.
When it comes to reviews, I think you have to find somebody who actually likes the same things as you do, and then use that, if you are that interested in reviews, use that as your compass, rather than just going straight to, sort of like for games, for example, just going straight to IGN and looking at what their score is. Well, they've got so many different people that review stuff.
Yeah.
They could be all over the place. Like, there's 2, like, if I'm talking about games, 2 reviewers. So Jeff Gersman, who I was talking about the other week, he's the Giant Bomb guy that we were talking about. I line up quite a lot with some of his stuff. And Stephanie Sterling, I line up a fair amount with her stuff.
Yeah, I like Stephanie Sterling.
So when those 2 characters are saying a particular game is terrible, I'm going to believe that it's terrible. Or if those 2 are saying a game is really good, I'm going to believe that I'm probably actually going to like this.
Yeah, and that's fair enough, because you found someone you align with. You could look at, like you said earlier, IMDb, the user review score versus...
I do that with Metacritic. I look at the user.
Yeah,
the
you look at the
score.
user and you look at the critic, and so often they do kind of equal out. But when you see a vast difference between what the users are saying and the critics are saying, that's when it gets interesting. Because then who are you going to listen to? The critic who's paid for their time, or the people who have paid their own money to see the film?
The problem with that, though, is review bombing.
That's true.
You know,
and that's for restaurants, film.
Could be a good product, could be a good film, could be a good game, could be a good whatever. But, you know, if it doesn't hit a particular thing that certain kinds of people want it to hit, and they all just start saying it's awful, you know, that score's going to be going down. It isn't going to give a realistic view. I think Steam have got a very good review system, because it will say what its kind of average over all time is, and then it will say what score it gets more recently. Have you seen that? It's got, like, it can say overall rating very positive.
Yes.
Recent rating, wherever it says negative. And that'll be showing you that they've changed something. They've added microtransactions.
Yeah,
they've
microtransactions. A patch has been done that's broken everything.
And I think that's great.
I think that's a brilliant idea.
One that moves, because there was a stage where, I keep talking about games because that's what I know, where companies were putting the microtransactions in a week later, because they would get the reviews
and
then they plonk them in. But there were people like Giant Bomb, that were wise to it, and they were saying in their original review, this is before they've added microtransactions. You know, they were actually saying, you know, we're not going to review this, we're doing, you know, we're waiting or whatever.
fine. But again, you could put that down to the reviewing site. So like we did with my Retroid Pocket 3 Plus review.
Yeah.
You've got to rely on the person that's reviewing it to also go back and make adjustments through time.
Yeah.
So we discovered a hardware flaw, or what we feel is a hardware flaw, and I've discussed it with other people, and they say, how that got to market if it's that fragile, I don't know.
Have you not seen the...
I've been reading the Reddit posts about the flip,
They're all
hinges
breaking,
broken,
hinges, yeah.
They're freezing and just bricking. It's quite scary. I'm glad we went for the 3 Plus, not the flip,
Yeah.
I've got to say. But yeah, it's about people going back and actually being honest and saying, we discovered something, maybe you should know about it. But yeah, so Lord of the Rings, sorry, we completely went off on a tangent there. I don't think it would have mattered how it reviewed, and it reviewed very well. We would never have liked it because of the changes they made and growing up with it as one of our kind of family favourites.
I think there's good argument for people that because I've now read the first Lord of the Rings book, there is a good argument for people to say, I don't like what they changed. I can understand that. I think this is not trying to get political, there is no argument for people that don't like certain changes that Amazon did.
No.
We all know what people are complaining about with the Amazon one. You've got no argument. But the only thing about the Amazon one is pretty much because they don't have any rights to anything. They haven't got the rights to the Silmarillion.
No.
So they kind of are making it up.
Well, they have to, yeah.
But it's set in their version of the world. If you can just accept that, like I do, even though I loved Lord of the Rings, I'm just accepting that. And I really liked it. But anyone that complains about how somebody looks, what the actor is, or this, just shut up. Not interested. That's not worth it.
So I reckon we're probably not going to get past many years in this episode.
No, probably not.
But that's exactly fits in with exactly what you've just said there, fits in exactly with what I could bring up right now. Who would have thought in 2023 that Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines, would turn out not to be the worst Terminator film? It's scary because back then I watched it and I will stand until everybody has caved in on top of me and carried on shooting and put me underground, and I will stand my ground on this. As a sci-fi fun action film, Terminator 3 is good.
What's it?
As a
Is it called
Terminator
Rise of the
franchise.
Machines?
Yeah, it's Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines.
Yeah.
But as a Terminator film, it's not so good. There were some really solid points in Terminator 3. Things like the early Terminators they got. So they got the T1, which were the tracked ones with the twin mounts. They looked awesome, and they were exactly what you'd expect. The year was around 2002, 2003 when it came out. So they looked like the technology we had then. They weren't rolling out exoskeleton robots. They were, complete metal skeleton robots. They were rolling out what the current technology was, which were bigger than human tracked tank robots or early style drones. And I thought that was a really clever idea.
You need to remind me, is this the one where it has the female
It's
Terminator?
the female Terminator.
Yes.
Where they start kind of playing around with the idea of time travel,
Timey-wimey stuff.
Timey-wimey, bendy-wendy sort of things, whereas you can't bring a weapon through, but she can come through and make herself into a bomb and do whatever she kind of wants. They jumped the shark with it.
Yeah.
But when you look at the latest blimmin' one, Dark whatever it was, which...
It's not Dark Fate, is it?
Yes, Dark Fate, that's it. Terminator Dark Fate, where Arnold Schwarzenegger returns as the Terminator after successfully killing John Connor and has called himself Carl. Mm-hmm. And he's a draper.
Well, it's got Thingy back in it as well, hasn't it?
Yeah,
the lady.
Linda Hamilton.
That's it.
It was awful. That is the worst term. It's worse than Salvation.
I didn't mind Salvation.
I didn't mind. Again, I didn't.
I like the future stuff.
So, Terminator...
Christian Bale in Salvation.
Yeah. So, right, okay. Terminator 1's my favourite, although everyone says Terminator 2. Terminator 1, we discussed this with Dan, didn't
Horror
we? 1,
and action.
horror, 2 is action.
Yeah.
3 was fun action. Mm-hmm. And that's all it should ever have been. Salvation... It tried to be too much, and instead it didn't fully work. But
Avatar, man.
they
was the
were
Terminator, wasn't it?
brave.
Yeah.
They tried something different, which goddamn we need on the film scenarios at the moment, because all we're getting is bloody remake after remake, or films based on basically something we've had done 100 times before. We need something new. And Salvation, they were brave. They went with a different thing. They had the giant Terminator robot thing that picks up the people. They had the Terminator motorbikes.
Yep.
They were really cool.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they are taken out, because at Universal I've been on the Terminator 2 ride. It's like a show, a 3D show.
Yep.
I think some of those things might be in that. I think they might be already kind of, I just don't know what the word is, like canonological, whatever the word is.
Canon.
Yeah, as part of the universe of the.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't dislike any of it. I think what it is that people are coming out, like these writers are coming up with these stories and like, okay, we've got this role. Oh, it seems a lot like Terminator or whatever. And they think, you know what, let's put the Terminator name on it because we can sell the film if we just say this is Terminator.
Pretty much.
And they just need Arnold Schwarzenegger to go, yeah, go.
And exactly. And that it just, as I said, who would have thought in this era that Terminator 3 wouldn't be the worst of them? And that's the case we've got now, isn't it? And what we were just kind of saying there is it could have been a lot worse compared to what we're kind of rolling out now.
Yeah.
I better say what I chose, really, haven't I?
Yeah, sorry, 20 minutes later. What did you pick for 2001?
No, come on, it's only 15 minutes. Okay, so for 2001, I had the original Fast and the Furious.
Very good film.
And
very good film.
Yeah, okay. Go and read the Fast X review I did on the webpage. Yes, I did replace everyone's faces with Dominic.
It's all about family, man.
All about family. The first film has it for me just because it had action. I was really into cars, and I still really love seeing the cars in it. The storyline is there. There is a story.
Yeah.
And the practical effects and everything there. Everything from kind of even 2 and 3 suffer with the bad CGI, but again, a lot of 2 and 3 were still done with real cars, real drivers, and a lot of stunts.
Yep.
4 onwards, ruined, and it's just got stupider and stupider and stupider.
They're not the same films anymore.
No.
They're just action films that happen to have cars in them.
Exactly. I mean, I'm just looking at my list here. 2001, so I got Fast and the Furious, followed by Memento, which is an amazing film, but it's a hell of a headfuck of a film. You'll just sit there scratching your head going, what is going on the first time you've watched it? And then in third place, I've got Evolution.
I didn't put that on there, but I love Evolution.
Evolution is a
DVD
brilliant
case is yellow with a big smiley face on it.
That's the one, yep. Yellow case. Yeah. Blue artwork with a big yellow alien smiley face on it. David Duchovny of X-Files fame in it. And Head and Shoulders turns out to be the weapon you need to use against aliens. Oh, sorry, spoiler alert. I don't care, it came out 22 years ago.
I nearly said, when did it come out?
I watched it the other day on Netflix.
It was on TV.
It wasn't.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was on TV around Christmas.
Oh, yeah. It's one of those films that turns up at Christmas.
What's the name of the other actor who does the singing in them all? Sean William Scott.
Sean William Scott.
Yeah, that guy's funny.
Stifler.
But
yeah, Evolution, loved it. Just
didn't tell you my other films, did I?
But yeah, Fast and the Furious, for me, as much as the franchise is just off the rails and terrible, that first film, there was just something about, I remember being at college and being lent it on DVD, which was odd, because 2001, all I had was a VHS collection, and I was really loving my VHS collection at that point, because HMV, these things called DVDs have come out, and soon there's going to be something called HD DVD coming out. So all the videos were at the front of HMV. Do you remember HMV in St Albans? So you walked in.
It's the first place I ever met Dan.
And oh really?
He worked there. Yeah.
Oh, of course he did.
When I was at college.
So you walked into HMV in St Albans, and there were 2. So you had the cash cans straight away on your right, and then there would be 2 A-frame style shelving units, and they were always full of VHS at that point, and they were the 3 for £10 VHS or 5 for £20 VHS. So my video collection at that point, when those deals appeared, went through the roof, because VHS started going out like, yeah, it's a new release. A week later, it'd be like $4.99.
Yeah. I remember the charted CDs were on the far right as soon as you walk in.
Yes, yeah, right on the wall.
Yeah.
Then over at the back of the store, there was the 2 vinyl players, so you could go and play what vinyl they had.
What a great shop HV was. It's still around, I think.
Watford's got one.
Still got it.
It's not quite the same.
Oh, what a shame. So my next 2 are, I'm going to get cancelled if I say what one of them is.
Barry Trotter and his hairy
Barry
Phoenix.
Trotter. We're not going to say the actual word in case people are trawling the internet for it. Love it. I prefer some of the later ones, but there's a certain charm to the first one.
Yeah, fair enough.
Spirited Away. What a fantastic anime that is. Beautiful.
No, I agree.
Absolutely.
It is absolutely beautiful, and I'm horrified to say I've never sat and watched it all the way through.
It's long.
Exactly. That's
long. I don't recommend it for young kids because it is kind of anime, and there's certain scenes in it. I think like there's some pig scenes that I think are a bit.
It's odd, isn't it? Anime can be beautifully creative, but then all of a sudden horrendously brutal.
Whereas
all in one place.
I do, and I have put My Neighbor Totoro in front of T. There's nothing really in that scary. I mean, Totoro, I kind of gets a bit like, opens his mouth a few times, but nothing scary. Whereas I think in Spirited Away, there are some bits with the dragon fighting and the pig, where parents are pigs in the pigsty. It's a bit gross.
Well, it's funny.
And No Face as well is a bit of a scary thing when he's going nuts.
It's funny you say that, but with the old Barry Trotter series, we stopped K after the 3rd film. It's whichever film that the next one had the drowning scene in it and the mermaids.
Okay, so Prisoner of Azkaban is 3. So 4 is the Trident Cup thing. Goblet of Fire.
That's it.
Called.
So it was 4 because there's the drowning scene in it and the mermaids. And
yeah, that's pretty scary.
She absolutely adores mermaids. And from that one onwards, it gets a lot darker.
Yeah, they get scary.
So at that point, and Kay was only 6 or 7 at the time, we kind of said, you can't watch any of these past this point, and we've never really got back round to that. So,
ignoring all the other things about the woman, one thing she did right was she wrote her books for the same kids that she wrote the first one for. So she didn't write 8 or 9 books all at the same level.
No.
Her books aged with the characters and the people that were reading, which is why it's so beloved by so many people, because they grew up with it and it grew
alongside them.
It was their maturity all the way through, which was clever.
But you could similarly say the same with most soap operas, can't you? If you start a soap opera when you're young and you carry on watching it, the characters age along with you as you're watching it, so you feel like you're part of the families involved in the soap operas.
And then you start identifying with the parents rather than the kids.
I don't think I've got anything else to really say about that. I mean, the film that I chose for I would never watch, Vanilla Sky. I fell asleep in it.
Tom Cruise.
And do you know what was worse?
I don't think I've seen it. It's Tom Cruise.
It's Tom Cruise.
I don't know if I've seen it.
I fell asleep after the first quarter, and I woke up at the end. And do you know what the end of the film is?
The sex scene?
No, okay. Take your brain back to being at primary school.
Mm-hmm. I'm picking my nose.
I'm your teacher, Robert. I'd like you to write a story in English, okay?
You're year 3. Oh, I'm glad you said English. I was going to write it in German.
Oh, good boy. Sprechen Sie Deutsch? Ja, gut, gut. It's English. You're in year 3, so that's going to make you 8 years old, 7, 8 years old. Right. I want you to write a story. So you've written your story. How do you end, or how does every primary school child ever seem to end their story? And I woke up and it was all a dream.
Oh, right. And that's what Vanilla Sky is.
I woke up and it's literally the end scene is Tom Cruise on the top of a building, and suddenly he hears a voice from the skies going, "We're very sorry, there's been a problem. Don't worry, everything you've experienced is a nightmare. We are fixing this problem and it will go back to normal." So his whole life falling apart throughout the film. This is all bad dreams, and it's all because whatever's making him stay asleep, whether it's I can't even remember if it's life support or he's paid to be cryogenically frozen. Something has gone wrong and they fix it, so everything's back to normal at the end.
So it's just the show that's the Vanilla Sky talking to him. It's like the Jim Carrey film, then like the Truman Show.
No.
But the people aren't in on it. It's
just I can't remember if it's a computer program or if it's basically a dream.
And he just kind of loses his mind throughout the.
He's losing his mind in his dream, basically.
Didn't it get like an Oscar or something with this guy? Or was it?
Oh, lots of films get Oscars that I think, how?
I know the name. I know it's Tom Cruise. I really enjoy Tom Cruise, but I haven't seen.
I normally enjoy Tom Cruise, and someone pointed out on Twitter earlier, Tom Cruise even starred in one of the Austin Power films.
Yes, he does. Yeah, the second one.
He has
Where
the
they drive
ability to poke fun at himself. Or Tropic Thunder. I know you haven't seen Tropic Thunder.
No.
He turns up in that.
He's really good in Rock of Ages.
I've not seen that. I really want to.
The only thing is, the soundtrack for Rock of Ages is wicked, and it's on Spotify, but they've pulled all of his songs.
Oh, really?
He hasn't allowed them to be on there, whether he has or a publisher has.
Oh.
Which is a shame, because he's a very good singer, and he plays it really over Exist for a really good film.
Nice. Right, well, let's actually try and get through a couple of years here, shall we? 2002. Catch Me If You Can is my top film.
I've not seen it. Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks and Leo DiCaprio.
Yeah.
And it is a mind-blowing film. It's one of those films that when you watch it...
Based on true story, right?
Yeah, it's based on the true story of a counterfeiter who also faked his way into being a pilot and doing all sorts. And it is absolutely amazing. Frank Abagnale, I think,
because
his
the
name
dude's
was.
still alive, and I think he actually cameos in that film.
I believe so.
Yeah, I've not seen it though.
You need to see it. Honestly, it's one of my all-time favourite films. And just you sit down, you watch it, and it's just you're hooked straight away. You're hooked about everything about it. The way it's been filmed, the set dress, everything just feels right. And then the on-screen relationship between Hanks's character and DiCaprio's character, it couldn't be more perfect. You don't get any... In fact, in any of the entire film, you never get one bit where you think something felt off with the acting there. It's just one of those films that I dare say is perfect. It really is a good film.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's comment below, send us messages on social media if you don't agree, but Catch Me If You Can, it's just one of those rare films that it pretty much got everything right. And okay, massive bonus that it was heavily based, whether or not it's entirely true about what he did. As you know what those sort of films are like. They've got to sensationalize some bits just to make it interesting. But even then, it's one of those rare films that it's good. Yeah. I think it was a couple of hours long, so it's just we're broaching that era of film now, whereas the 90s and the 80s, you could happily have just had a 1 hour 20, 1 hour 30-minute film and you were happy. We're now into this world of the 2000 onwards where everyone started going, 2.5 hour film is fine, that's not a problem.
Bloody new Avatar film's like 3 hours 20 minutes or something.
Yeah, well, new Little Mermaid, 2.25 hours. It's a children's film.
Yeah, she said it felt really long. We're meant to be watching that Avatar film tomorrow.
Kay and Jem went last week. They loved Little Mermaid. Sorry, yeah. New Avatar's on Disney Plus already.
Yeah, that's what I saw. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. We're going to watch it tomorrow.
At least
we're
going to
have to really start
have a pee break. And,
it'll take us 2 nights. There's absolutely no way that we'll watch a 3.5 hour film.
No, that's fair enough.
Absolutely impossible.
But I only vaguely remember, and it only happened maybe once or twice before it was kind of gone, the very early cinema trips where there was a halftime break.
I don't think I've ever had that.
It literally, it switched. That 2-year difference between us amounts to quite a bit on that, I'm afraid. But yeah, so yeah, for 2002 then, I would go for Catch Me If You Can. There's not really much to say about it, because the story is basically he wants to do the best for his family. His dad basically tries hard, kind of fails. His mum is used to the life that the dad was giving her, then isn't giving her, so they end up getting divorced. He runs away, discovers that he's good at counterfeiting, starts counterfeiting money, then realizes that he can act as a pilot and manages to get lots of free flights by saying he's a pilot and getting the free seat for pilots who need to go to other countries to do jobs. And then the FBI are chasing it. And it's basically this long-winded fight of the FBI trying to track him down. That is the film, but it's I can't keep saying it enough. It's one of those films I genuinely feel is just it hits everything you want in one go.
Yeah.
Sorry, just having a look at my list then. The Transporter I got as the second because it's just stupid action.
I haven't seen those. That's Jason Statham.
So I really enjoyed the original one from the 70s.
Oh, okay.
And it's cheesy as hell, but it's good. But the Jason Statham one's really good fun, and there's a brilliant scene in it. He's in a garage getting beaten up. And Jason Statham does, knocks over an oil drum, covering the floor in oil, and there's this brilliant scene where he's basically kicks his shoes off and he just does martial arts while skidding around on oil and everyone's just slipping over it. It's just really fun but really good scene. And then my third choice, and it was really hard to put this third versus second, so they're kind of one of these interchangeable ones. I will still watch these to this day and I will still laugh, cry at them. Jackass the movie.
Oh, they're so good.
It's just, there is something so stupid and puerile about it that makes me laugh till my chest, my stomach, and every part of me hurts.
I only recently, in the last 6 months, watched Jackass 4. It came out and it was a while before I got to see it.
I saw it at the cinema,
Yeah.
and just seeing the giant penis monster.
So good.
And everyone getting hit by what we all know is basically fake spunk was just...
Yeah.
That set me off into giggles straight away. And then throughout a lot of that film was very good.
Yeah, I enjoyed Jackass 4. All of them are good. All the Jackass films are good.
Yeah, but they're not films. Don't get me wrong, they're just elongated episodes. But I'm putting it on there because, honestly, looking at the other films of the year, that's what I want. That's what I wanted to watch, and that's what I would watch. And the one that I've said I wouldn't watch again is Signs.
I've seen Signs twice.
Oh no, we can't work out door handles. And let's land on the planet that's 90% covered in water, knowing that water is what hurts us.
Who is it? Who's in it? It's Joaquin Phoenix and...
It's not Charlie Sheen. He's from the piss take.
Mel Gibson.
It's Mel Gibson, yeah. Charlie Sheen's in the piss take Scary Movie 3 version of it.
Yeah, he is, yeah. Which is actually better.
It's a lot better.
I mean, Charlie Sheen, with all his faults.
Dragon Blood.
When he does...
Oh no, is it Tiger Blood? Sorry.
When he does films, those kind of films, there's not really many people better.
No, absolutely not.
And Martin...
Leslie Nielsen.
Leslie Nielsen, sorry, where I get mine from. Leslie Nielsen, yeah, there's not many people better than that.
No, they might be typecast for that film, but
they're the best.
Damn, they're good at it.
They're the best. Mine, can you guess? Based on my last answer.
Oh, it's not Lord of the Rings 2, is it?
Yeah, it's the second one.
Did they really go year after year?
Yep, so you could probably guess my next film after this one will be...
Oh, I did not know that they went year after year.
Because they just filmed them in one long go, and then they released them.
Which makes sense. That absolutely makes sense to do that. I mean, you look at Back to the Future 2 and 3, they were filmed back to back. So it does make sense to do that, especially when they're continuations of the same story. So I kind of get that. I can't really comment on anything more on that because you know my thoughts on it, and we know your thoughts on the Lord of the Rings.
Did you not even watch?
I've never watched the second or third.
Way better. I mean, the first one I still think is very good, but the second one is brilliant, and the third one is brilliant. I don't know what to say. I think Weta. I think is it Weta who do the. I'm probably getting the wrong people who do all the visual effects for them. Just pioneered some different technology that was just not in anything else, like the multiple characters run by AI for the
attacking
the Helm's Deep.
Oh, there's no doubt the technology behind it was immense.
They invented it. They
well,
just basically invented it for it, and it's just fun. It's just great. Even now, it still looks good. There's a few moments where you just think, that's a little bit flaky, but the 4K version, because they've not just upscaled it, they've done a decent job.
Right, okay.
And because the costume guys were so intricate, and that was lost on DVD, you can now see all the embroidery, all the leather and stuff that they put so much detail into all the costumes that you couldn't see.
I never fully understood this until I started looking into this years ago. And I always wondered, well, how do you remaster a film like Star Wars and make it 4K? And of course, I never realised how they did it. On the vast majority of them that were shot using traditional film, it's just they put the film through a super high grade scanner, and you don't need to worry about things like megapixels of camera. Everything that was on actual film they can blow it up something like 8K a lot of the time. So but the Lord of the Rings one must be so, because I know they filmed it on film, didn't they?
But filmed then you've got super duper IMAX.
Yeah, so
stupidly expensive
big chunky film.
Cameras, yeah.
I think I've forgotten where I saw it now, but something like one of the IMAX films, when it's Oppenheimer, I think it is, coming out on IMAX film, it's 11 miles of film.
That's the Batman, the first of those Christian Bale Batman films.
Oh, it's Oppenheimer as well.
Yeah. Oh, is it?
Interestingly, yeah. It was just some bloke stood next to the IMAX camera with this giant reel of the film. This is the IMAX ultra cut of Oppenheimer. It's 11 miles long.
Yeah, it's just nuts. So yeah, and then I put maybe controversial Minority Report. It's a film that I absolutely love. Miranda and I will watch that every time it's on.
I need to watch it again. I've watched it once. I wasn't blown away. But again, that could have just been the mood I was in.
I don't think it's going to blow anyone away, but it's a popcorn film.
The thing that I remember about it is, and I still haven't given you the link, and I'm so sorry, is Adam and Joe did the XFM show. So they did the Adam and Joe show, then they did the XFM radio show, and they had a podcast based on what they did in the XFM radio show. And Adam, whatever his surname is, it's gone from my brain for the moment. Buxton, that's it. Adam Buxton has a SoundCloud account, and he's put all the XFM podcasts on there.
Okay.
And they one of the bits they did was, can you guess, based on the film commentary, what film that they're talking about? And Minority Report's one of them. And you've just got Joe in the background going, oola, pee pee poo poo, milky woman, or milky ladies. So what? Oh, I know what you're talking about now. Yeah, that's all that ever comes to mind when someone says Minority Report. I've only ever watched it once. I probably should watch it again, because people do say it's a good piece of sci-fi.
It is, yeah. I can't tell you how many times I've seen it. So many.
The idea of being put away for future crimes that you may commit based on
it's the precogs.
The precogs, isn't it? The Milky Water ladies.
Well, one's a lady, they're triplets.
Oh, sorry, triplets. Yes,
two are boys and one's a girl.
But the idea that based on.
No, they're not triplets. I think the two men are twins, and then the girl's just a girl. I mean, they might be triplets, but anyway. But
it's based on the percentage chance, isn't it, that you're actually going to go ahead with it based on what they've predetermined, looking at however many versions of the future there is. Yeah, they
essentially are saying, if we're seeing you do this, you will do it. So we're going to get there before you do it.
Yeah,
that's essentially it, and then how that gets manipulated.
Okay.
Which is, and what's his name is the baddie, and he's the baddie in bloody everything. 24's dad.
Oh, I know who you mean, yeah.
Who's the guy in 24?
Don't ask me stuff like that.
His dad.
Right, okay, fine.
Because he's also in the Killing Mockingbird films.
You're going to have to look it up now. You can't just say stuff like this.
This is the problem I have, and everyone's going to learn this the more they listen to it. I'm so bad with names.
Oh, snap. I know faces, I don't know names.
I have the ability to remember everyone's face. If I've seen them once in passing walking down the street, I'll remember you. I won't know why, but I'll be like, I've seen you before. But then I
Oh,
won't.
it was through your window last
Yeah.
night. Hello.
Oh, that's right.
Colin Farrell?
No. He is in it. He's the cop. He's the cop who's chasing
Max
after.
von Sydow? Oh, no. Oh, yeah, he's director Lamar Burge.
Yeah, it is him. Yeah.
Neil McDonough's
Cedo.
Fletcher.
Cedo, isn't he? Thingy's dad.
I haven't got a clue.
Oh, I just misremembered.
I've never actually watched 24.
I'm mixing him up with someone else, but he is the baddie I was thinking of.
Oh, right, okay.
And 24. Let's go and look at 24, because what's that guy called?
Oh, he was in Star Wars The Force Awakens.
Sutherland, yeah. Sorry, I mixed Kiefer Sutherland in 24. I'm mixing up his dad with...
Oh, fine. Okay.
Yeah.
So, moving then on to 2003, just because I want to push through and get a couple more years done at least. We know that Lord of the Rings 3...
Return of the King.
Return of the King.
One. Yeah.
Is your choice then.
Yep.
What are your other two?
Sorry, this is really small writing. I've only picked one. It was School of Rock.
That's my top choice.
Yeah, if Lord of the Rings hadn't come out, it would have been School of Rock.
School
Was a
of
fantastic
Rock.
film.
Brilliant. Everything. I remember seeing it at the cinema with an ex and coming out of it just full of energy and mirth. It's wonderful.
Has Kay seen it?
Yes, and she likes it.
And she doesn't like Bowser.
Oh, she likes Bowser.
Does she not know they're
doesn't-
the same guy?
Yeah, she just doesn't like the song Peaches. She loves Bowser.
Oh, crazy.
She just doesn't like Peaches.
Crazy.
Well, there you go. Some kids have taste, others don't, and some we just put up for adoption.
Yeah.
no,
Some of them we just
never,
get a
never,
strike.
never. But yeah, she's got one strike at least.
As we call it at work, we call it a black mark.
But no, School of Rock. Everything about it, again, it just works. The characters, the actors they chose to play those characters, the storyline to it, it's just really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't show really young kids it. It is one of those ones. Me and Jem had to watch it a couple of times to decide: is this something we can?
Is it 12?
No, it's PG. I think.
PG, yeah.
I think it's a PG, but things like having to possibly explain what groupies are. And various other bits, but otherwise, no, it's a super solid film. Great soundtrack.
Yeah, fantastic. And all the kids can actually play.
Yes,
And they're all fantastic. And the main kid, the guitarist, the lad,
yeah.
when you see him in real life, he's a proper rock star. that
Oh, is
kid.
he?
Yeah, he's proper like. Not saying like he's famous. When you see him doing stuff, he is awesome.
Oh, that's really cool.
Absolutely awesome.
But I knew they could play. I didn't know that they kind of carried on.
The bassist girl, she is incredible too. Oh, the drummer, he is fantastic on the drums.
And they play their parts really well. So the drummer's the bad kid,
The bad boy.
Yeah, and you get that real feeling about him.
Yeah.
It's odd, isn't it? There's kind of that era, or not era. There's the writers and the directors and the people that create some of these films. Sometimes they can just manage to make something just so right that you can't find fault with it. And the School of Rock it's full of faults. There's lots of bits to it that just no school, for example, would ever let just someone randomly turn up and say, yeah, this is who I am, without providing ID and saying, off you go.
Yeah, it's very filmy.
There's a lot to it that you've just got to, suspend your belief or disbelief even to accept it. But it's Jack Black.
Yeah, he makes good films.
Ooh, Pick of Destiny. Would you say that's a good film?
Okay, yeah, I'll take that back.
It's enjoyable, but it's not a good film.
I didn't even like the album for Pick of Destiny, if I'm honest.
No, their first album for me.
Yeah.
The Road tribute, my Kill Cabasso
Wonder Boy.
sausage, Wonder Boy.
Wonder Boy! I love it.
It's everything about that album. But yeah, Jack Black. 2003 then, we're talking.
Cock push-ups.
Cock push-ups. Oh, the drive-through as well. I just love the little audio clips in between each song as well.
Yeah, it's just great.
Next two films that I've chosen for 2003 are real brain ones, unfortunately. So they aren't action, they aren't fun films. One is Runaway Jury.
Never heard of it.
It's the loosely based, I think, on a true story. I believe it's I can't think. A famous author did it. Did he do the Pelican Brief? I don't know. He's big crime writer anyway, and it's basically these two people are constantly trying to get on jury for crimes to do with a certain gun company.
Right.
And when they finally get onto one, they then start blackmailing the gun company's legal team,
Right.
and saying, we are going to swing your jury to be guilty unless you do X, Y, Z. And it turns out it's because they suffered at the hands of this gun company,
Right,
and they're
okay.
basically looking to bring down the... Very, very clever film. And the other one is a film called Identity, which, again, a bit like Memento, is a big head fuck, basically. And again, spoiler, but it's a 2003 film. It's all going on in the killer's head.
Right.
They all end up at a motel, and everyone starts getting murdered.
Isn't that kind of like Shutter Island's a bit like that?
A little bit. And then the film I choose that I would never watch again, and it's a bit harsh because I'm actually starting to soften towards it, and
Go on.
Jem really likes it.
Go on.
The Core.
Never heard of it.
You've never heard of The Core?
Heard of The Core.
So this is the era of film of the disaster film.
Mhm.
So we had Armageddon.
Yep.
To go with Armageddon, we also had Deep Impact.
Yep.
To go with Deep Impact, we then had The Core. So whereas Armageddon, we've got an asteroid. Deep Impact, we've got an asteroid. The Core, the Earth's core has stopped spinning. So they make a special drill that gets them all the way to the center of the Earth. They detonate some nukes and then come back. The difference being is it is more Deep Impact than it's Armageddon. What I mean by that is Armageddon is a great film.
Mm-hmm.
They only kill a handful of characters,
Yep.
and it's a success and everyone's happy. Deep Impact is a miserable fucking film where they kill half the population, they kill the heroes. It's just absolute misery. Well, The Core's very similar. They kill a huge number of people. They kill off almost every single hero, bar the two that aren't particularly likable anyway, but they're the main characters. And I've written about it before. I need to see if I can dig it out and put it up. One of the jokes I make about it is the effects look like Team America in some points.
Oh, really?
Compared to actually being a Hollywood blockbuster.
Oh.
Yeah, it's one of those disaster era films, and it's honestly, it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
In my books, it is anyway. So yeah, that's my 2003 choice. Oh my God, we still got 20 years to go.
Just at least do two more.
We've got 20 years to go, and we're at, hang on a moment, 45 minutes.
Right, let's
Which
do two
then
more,
add
two
on
more.
the 20-minute intro. Add on then the 20-minute Trek talk. We are incapable of doing a short podcast.
Weren't we also didn't you also have a game for me?
Yeah, we'll have to do that another day. It's lucky because I didn't actually write any of it down because I just ran out of time today.
We
So
won't say any more about it then.
okay, 2004 then. Shaun of the Dead's my top.
Yep, agreed.
How can you not?
This fantastic rom-com with zombies, as it says on the cardboard box.
Paul Gannon is an extra zombie.
Is he?
He was.
Is he on air? Does he get extra money? Does he go and get even more extra money?
I've not got a clue. You'll have to
I'm
ask him.
going to watch it and see if I can see him.
Paul Putner was in it as well.
Yeah, he was in a lot of their stuff. Though.
Yeah.
He's in all of their stuff. He's a copper in Hot Fuzz.
Is he?
I'm pretty sure he's either a copper or he's one of the villagers, isn't he, in Hot Fuzz?
I think you're right there. Yeah. But
For some reason, I remember him in a police uniform in Hot Fuzz.
Yeah, possibly. But no, sorry, right. Shaun of the Dead, absolute zombie romance, action, fun, adventure.
They literally call it a rom-com with zombies.
Yeah.
On the box. Yeah,
and it's just it's good fun. There's not kind of one thing you can't really dislike about it. Nick Frost and Simon Pegg's relationship at that point and how they just bounce off each other. That end scene where he's living with Nick Frost as the zombie.
Yeah.
It's just throwing the vine at him. Oh no! Don't do that one. Don't do that. Yeah, you can do that one.
Yeah.
And then "Don't Stop Me Now" on the jukebox.
Mm-hmm.
Just a wonderful, wonderful scene. there is a lot you can say about Shaun of the Dead. The characters as well just all feel so just brilliantly written,
Yeah.
and they all gel. And I'll tell you what it reminds me of. It reminds me of one of the Simon Pegg's first kind of TV series he did, and I had the name of it, and it's fucked off.
God, I know it because I've never watched it.
It's really worth watching. Spaced. That is it.
I've never watched it, and I wish I had. So I haven't.
I think it's on Netflix. Watch it. There's a brilliant episode when they go to rescue a dog from a just full stop. Just watch it.
I will watch
but
it.
It's kind of, it's of, again, that era, and it's of that style. And to be fair, you've really got to be looking or enjoy that style of comedy.
Yeah.
And there is a very specific style to it. And if you aren't a fan of that sort of slapstick and silliness,
It's very British.
oh God, yeah.
It is British. You don't get that kind of film somewhere else.
No, you don't actually at all. It's funny, isn't it? When you say that, American comedies, are absolutely American. British comedies, exactly. It's not just because of the accents.
No.
But you could do a British comedy and put Americans in it, and it will still be a British comedy. There is an absolute feel to how it comes out.
I might have said this before. It's like The Office. The UK Office is a British comedy. And the American Office, when they stopped trying to do
British.
the English Office, I prefer it. Because it is so good, the American Office. I'm not saying that American comedy is better than British, but just that one in particular. As soon as they stopped trying to Americanise a British thing and just made their own thing in their own way, it was so much better.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. Sorry, I'm just fiddling with my mic. I've just realised an elastic's come off, but I'll do that later so you don't hear it crunch.
Yeah. But yeah, Shaun of the Dead.
Did you ever watch Space Force on Netflix? The Steve
Oh
Carell.
yeah, love it. Yeah, Space Force is fantastic.
I can't believe they cancelled that. That was just.
They've cancelled it.
Yeah,
They did 2 series of it.
They did 2 series. It's not getting any more.
Oh.
Unless they've changed their mind again. But that is pure American comedy, and I am here for it. That was brilliant.
John Malkovich in that is so good.
Oh, Malkovich is wonderful, but Carell is as well. Just everyone in that.
I'm nodding. We haven't got the camera on today. I'm nodding. Like,
But yeah, everyone in that is just it's really, really, really good. But that's Shaun of the Dead. And what else can you say about it? It is British comedy at its finest. There's not one bit you can't kind of pinpoint. I guess at our age, I'm guessing the younger generations can't really, because there isn't the pubs like they used to be.
yeah.
So that you don't get pubs with a fruit machine in that style, for example. You don't get the local where people know you feel comfortable. You get pubs now that you go and get wasted in, and that's pretty much it nowadays.
What's it called? The Winchester.
The Winchester,
'Cause
that's
the
it. Because
rifle,
the rifle
yeah.
above the bar, yeah. It's loaded. No, it's not.
Yeah, and then you've got all the stories about all the locals.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There's something that resonates with our generations of people that I don't think would resonate with younger audiences. Well, I say younger, I mean people that are old enough to watch it, but Gen Zers or whatever they are now, millennials or...
Well, we're millennial, I'm afraid.
No, we're not. Don't be a dick.
You are. Look it up. As much as you like
We
trying to
are
escape
not
it.
a fucking millennial, you cunt.
Well, it's either that or you're a boomer, and you're not a boomer, are you?
Oh.
It's not a dirty word.
We need something in between.
I don't think there is.
Boomelial.
It's not a dirty word.
Boomelial.
People just make it dirty. It's not dirty. You are what you are.
Okay, what else did you choose for 2004?
Okay, again, next time I'm only going to print the ones that I need so I can read it. So Howl's Moving Castle. Again, Studio Ghibli.
Yeah,
Or Ghibli, however you meant to say it. I say Ghibli.
never seen it.
It's Miranda's favourite. I really like it. There's a little fire in it called Calcifer. He talks. He's great. Not one for kids. Not that it's dirty anyways, but I think there's scary moments in it. I think kids would actually probably, some of the arts in it, I think they wouldn't like it. And then Anchorman.
I like Anchorman.
How can you not like Anchorman? I love Lamb.
It's not on my list, weirdly. And I will say, I wish they hadn't done the sequel. As funny as the sequel was, I don't think it was needed. I think the first one was all you needed for the legend of not Ron Howard, the legend of Ron Burgundy.
Yeah.
That was it. I love Lamp. Are you just saying things that you see?
Yeah.
I love Lamp. Okay,
he's
Brick.
got the aftershave, and it's like, it works. What is it like? It works 100. What, like 80% of the time? It works 100% of the time. So it says some really weird thing. Like,
Yeah.
wait, 80% of the time it works
100%.
all of the time.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's loads of little one-liners all through that. The fight scene as well.
Sky rockets in flight.
Afternoon delights. The fight as well.
Yeah, the fight's great.
Brick, did you just... Yes, I did.
Oh.
No, Anchorman, brilliant choice. I wish I actually, looking at what I've got, I partly wish I'd got that on there. So I've got Saw, deeply unpleasant, but I did. The original Saw. So whether or not this is true, I don't know. Saw 1 was by a Japanese writer.
It was.
Saw 2 was a Japanese writer for the first half, then he died, and it was taken over by an American studio.
Right, okay.
And Saw 3 was then the American writers onwards. Saw 1 and 2, I really enjoy. Saw 3 was okay, and the ones after that.
I've only seen the first 2.
I've seen, I think, up to 3 or 4. The last one I saw is there's a group of them having to move through a house, and they've basically got to work as a team. And what they realise is at the end, if they'd all worked as a team, they could have got out because they're all needed to get out of the final trap.
Right.
So it's a bit dark like that. But yeah, the first Saw was chilling and really clever. Basically, really cheap to film, single room.
Yeah.
And
then the big twist at the end is just mind-blowing for the very first time that you watch it. It's absolutely mind-blowing.
That's the problem with it. As much as I enjoy it, once you know it's coming, the film is then
it's a different film the next time.
Yeah, you can't actually really re-watch it. As much as I enjoy it, it's one of those films, the first time you see it, amazing. Every time afterwards, it's not as good because that surprise just isn't there.
Yeah, and then when I watched the second one, I was just waiting for that moment. I was waiting for the big twisty reveal. And
that's the other problem with the Saw films. There's always this twist in it, and you know a twist is coming, and it does somewhat ruin the idea of what's going on with it. The other films I've got on there, The Incredibles.
Oh, I like it, but
it's a good film, but that's why I only made third spot. And I was kind of grabbing. I don't know why I didn't put Anchorman down. I really don't know why I didn't. But film I won't see is Cat in the Hat featuring Mike Myers.
I've seen bits of it. It's terrible.
Kay watched it at least 500 times.
No, it's a terrible film.
And no, there are.
And I bum Mike Myers. I absolutely adore him.
There are some genuinely funny moments in that film. But when you have watched it 500 times in a row with no other films, because that's what Kay likes to do, please, just put me out my misery.
You saying that, a film I'm going to mention for the next year, I've probably seen that many times and I still like it.
Don't get me wrong. Yeah, okay. You can have a film that you like that much, but when it is a 2004 kids film...
Yeah, but it's not a good film,
featuring a character I'm not particularly au fait with because we didn't really get Dr. Zeus over here as much. Or it's not as big a thing as it is in America. It's painful. It's really painful. So yeah, no, for me, that is that. Okay, 2005. I'm just looking at my selection. So the No Thanks, first of all. I saw this at the cinema. War of the Worlds. Good old Tommy Cruise there.
Yep.
Now you're giving me a sly smile. Is that on your list?
Well, no, the film I just mentioned actually comes out in 2006. But it's my second one. Yeah, War of the Worlds. The Tom Cruise War of the Worlds is my second choice film. I love it.
I hated it. But I think...
Thing is, I can appreciate why you would hate it. I genuinely can see why somebody wouldn't like it, but I love Tom Cruise.
I grew up watching the original.
I didn't.
Bearing in mind that
listened
the
to the radio
original
show
film
either.
and the new film is nothing like the book. The book takes place in England
Well,
to start with.
was the radio show just them reading the book?
No, the radio show was very much.
It was the War of the Worlds, but it was just separate.
Again, it was more towards what the original film was then based on.
Because that was
I
when
believe.
people were upset because they thought it was real.
So, I listened to a good podcast, and it's just advertising other people's podcasts because why not at this point? There's a podcast called The Retrospectors. They release a 10-minute episode Monday to Friday, or if you pay their subscription, you get one on Saturday as well. And they just do This Day in History. And they did This Day in History when Orson Welles read it on the radio, and no, there was no uproar. It was after every break, it was announced as, and back to the dramatization of War of the Worlds.
Right.
A handful of people said that, and apparently the press ran with it, but there was no actual.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, I heard the same story. I always believed that, there was parts of America trying to evacuate and go to higher ground and things like that because they thought they were genuinely under invasion. But yeah, I grew up with the first film. 60s, I'm guessing, 50s, 60s. It scared me as a kid, actually. I remember being scared, especially when the alien ship's kind of probe follows them down into a hole.
Yeah, it's scary.
And they cut the head of it with an axe, which they copy in the Tom Cruise film. I didn't like the daughter. I thought the son was a completely pointless addition to the film. Something about it just didn't gel with me. But again, I've got to say it, and I'm being my own worst enemy. I haven't watched it since maybe I watched it once after seeing it at the cinema, and we're talking 19 years ago. I need to rewatch it and see if I was just watching it with rose-tinted glasses for the previous film.
Again, I had no knowledge of it other than knowing what it was. I'd never seen anything before. I've listened to the audiobooks of, I've got the Orwell collection on Audible, and which is really bloody good. He's got those like 5 books on it, and they're all 5 really good. The one where they go to the moon, was this called the I can't remember what it is called, but these 2 guys go to the moon in a big dome.
Nice.
And that's a really good one. It's different enough, but still the same. The key points are the same in the book, but I had no kind of conceptions of it at all, and it was just aliens and Tom Cruise.
Yeah, and if you watch it as that, I bet you it's quite good. And that's why I need to really sit down and rewatch it, because I'm realising a lot of films that I didn't like during the early 2000s was when, honestly, I was probably being really stupidly stuck up about things.
Yeah.
Vanilla Sky, for example, might actually be a solid film.
I think I'm going to watch it.
It could be purely, I was at that hormonal teenager kind of level, and I really didn't give it the respect it deserved.
Yeah.
So I'm open to being swayed on this. But if I went for what films I'd choose, then Serenity is my top one.
It's a good film.
Which was spawned off the TV series Firefly, which I loved and can't believe that Joss Whedon didn't get any more on that. But I think that's another one that's been cancelled man-wise because apparently
they won't let him do it. Yeah,
he's not a very nice man.
Yeah,
so
apparently not.
But yeah, Firefly was wonderful, and then Serenity really, really enjoyed.
Yeah.
I followed that up with The Skeleton Key, which is a really dark film, and Land of the Dead.
Oh yeah, Land of the Dead.
Romero's Land of the Dead.
Yeah, I like that, but yeah, it didn't make it to my list.
You see, I've seen the original Land of the Dead, the black and white one.
Yep.
Perfectly fine. Romero's one ups the game.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of my selection. It's this year though, I guess, except what I've said about War of the Worlds, is there's not really much to say about the films, because even looking there now, I really liked Serenity. I like what they did with it. I like the story of Firefly. I like that we get kind of a little bit of Firefly thrown in, so we get the rescue of his sister all the way through to finding out what they did to her and finding out actually what the Ravages are. I like it, the style of it. It just worked, but there really isn't, out of all those films, there isn't really much to say. It's just, it's a boring era of cinema where films were good, but they weren't talk worthy.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there's people out there that are, well, you're not considering the direction and how they used the camera to get this specific angle and all that shit. I don't give a crap. I enjoy what I want to see on screen. And if it makes me want to talk about it afterwards, brilliant. And I guess kind of 2000, that's quite hard to do on a lot of the films.
Yeah.
And what did you choose as your top film for 2004 then? Is it 4? Yeah, 2005.
Or 2005, yeah, Constantine.
Never seen it.
Absolutely brilliant.
Isn't
Absolutely brilliant.
An angel or something?
No, he's he can see demons and ghosts and things, and he's a guy that wishes he couldn't, and he, as a young man, it drove him to suicide.
Right,
but
okay.
It didn't work.
Nice.
Because he got saved they brought him back to life again. But because of that, he knows he's going to hell.
Right,
and it's
okay.
known by all the demons and all the characters he comes with. It's like, you're a suicide survivor. You realise that you're going to hell. And he's now only trying to stop demons and monsters and stuff because he thinks it's going to put him in the good books so he'll go to heaven.
Oh, okay. That sounds quite cool.
Yeah. So that's the concept of it. And there's a running thing that they're all saying, because he's sent so many demons back to hell.
Yeah.
That they say you are the one soul on this planet that the devil himself will come to claim when you die. And that's a running theme.
Right.
And becomes
Does the devil turn up in it?
He does.
Is that the one where he pisses and blows up a car with his piss?
No.
Okay, that might be End of Days then.
I think that might be End of Days.
There is a film where the devil is in it and basically he takes a piss and it manages to blow up a car.
Pacino?
Possibly, yes.
End of Days.
Yes, as that's Schwarzenegger, isn't it?
Yeah.
End of Days. But I mean, we could do a whole episode talking about weird Schwarzenegger films, Eraser,
Yeah.
which is awful.
He's got a new series out, Fubar. I'm interested in watching.
Yeah, it's a really odd name to give it as well. Fucked Up Beyond All Recognition, or is it all? Have they done it with R or an H?
Oh.
Okay, I'm intrigued to what they. So, as a
FUBA.
Brit, what I've understood, so you've got Fubar, which is Fucked Up Beyond All Hope with an H, or Beyond All Recognition, which is the one we used to use on the ambulance.
Yeah.
It's a very dark way of talking, don't get me wrong, but sometimes when you're dealing with horrendously dark things, that's how you get through it. So don't go over there, it's all pretty foobar. To take a nice deep breath, because what you're going to walk into is something soft, squidgy, and doesn't resemble a human
What do
anymore.
they call it when, like, paramedics and people who are in there, like army guys have it? It's like something, it's called like dark humour, black humour or something, they call it, don't they?
Yeah, black humour, dark humour.
It's got a specific term they use because everyone falls into it.
You have to sometimes.
Yeah.
It's a genuinely interesting coping mechanism. You've got to make a joke out of it, and even if it's dark, if it helps, it helps. Sorry, anyway, completely random one there. Let's try and get one more year, and even though we've just hit 1 hour, well, actually we've hit 1 hour 6 minutes, but hell, who cares at this point? We'll just have another film special in the future. 2006. Go on, fire away.
The Departed.
Who's in that? Is that Mark Wally Wahlberg?
It's we spoke about him earlier. Titanic boy. Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh, DiCaprio.
Yeah,
DiCaprio.
DiCaprio pants.
Is it not DiCaprio and Wahlberg? Is it not the one where
Wahlberg
they're
in it as well?
brothers? One of them becomes the police officer for the New York police.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure it's Wahlberg and DiCaprio then.
Yeah, is it Wahlberg?
And they use him as an informant, don't they, for the NYP and it all ends rather tragically.
Yeah, it's a good film.
Yeah, it's a really good film. Really good film that I actually haven't watched since probably a couple of years after it came out. I saw it at the cinema. and then I've seen it on DVD maybe once, so I probably do need to watch that one again. It's got really that's not Pacino as well, is it? It's
No, it's got Jack Nicholson, Matt Damon, DiCaprio.
Oh, is it Matt Damon?
Sheen, Mark Wahlberg.
Oh, it is Wahlberg. And
Ray Winston.
I forgot.
There's a really good scene.
God, that's some big names.
It's a really good scene because Jack Nicholson is like the kind of mob guy, and Ray Winston's like his kind of man, you know, because he's right hand man. And there's a bit where there's a woman on a beach, and there's a really good short video of Matt Damon talking about this. And
Matt Damon.
Watching this. Doesn't he do that voice? Does he do that voice?
I've got no idea.
In that. Anyway. And it's kind of, a lot of it's ad-libbed by Jack Nicholson. I'll link this video in the website so you can watch it. And he's saying about how Jack is like, oh, in the script it says I'm going to do this. But if you keep the camera rolling, I'll say this because that's fucked up. But if you keep the camera rolling, I'll then do this because that's really fucked up. But if you keep the camera rolling, I'll laugh because then you know it's really fucked up. It's basically like this woman who's like dead on the ground or something, and he's like, didn't she felt funny, didn't she? And like, she just starts like talking and like shoots, and he's like a kind of the back and forth between Ray Winston, and it's all ad-libbed then by Jack Nicholson, and the way he portrayed to the director was like, but if you keep the camera rolling, I'll say this. And it's really good. You'll have to watch it.
I've got a lot of respect for Jack Nicholson as an actor. He's just, whatever he is in, he brings something to it, doesn't he?
And the film I was going to say that I've watched 1,000 million times.
Oh, okay.
I've never seen it before T is Cars.
Good choice.
It is a really good film that I had no interest in until T was like, that's a car, let's watch it.
We've started watching them with our T.
It has spawned no end of, every single toy we have is some kind of related
he still carrying
to Pixar
around Mater
cars.
with him?
He swaps, so it's Sally at the moment.
Oh.
We've got Sally at the moment is the one he's after.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've got a big appreciation for cars now. T has started watching them as well.
And they're good films.
They are. And it's just that typical Disney Pixar thing, isn't it? Where they put so much in for the adults that the kids will never understood, and they don't need to. Like that whole Toy Story where Mr. Potato Head puts his face on Band and he goes, hey, look, I'm Picasso.
Yeah.
No kid gets that.
Yeah.
But all the adults are like, ha, yes, I like it. And my favourite was Cars 2. Mater's apology letter that he's leaving. P.S. Please apologise to the hotel. I did not know that film. I did not hire that film on purpose.
Yeah, I know. It's funny. I got to say, though, number 2...
It's not as good.
Is my least favourite of the 3.
Oh, I've not seen third.
It goes back to racing, and that's why I like it. But Cars on the Road, the series, is really good. Really good, yeah. Because they're all a little different. And the second one's really scary too. When we started watching, I was like, oh, this is a bit scary.
So, just very presuming we're talking about Disney, I discovered on Disney Plus the I Am Groot shorts.
I've seen them. I haven't watched them.
They are so good.
Are they?
Oh, it's aimed between Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and the second film. So it's in that time period.
While he's still in a pot.
They are so cute. I laughed so hard at them. They are definitely please watch them. They'll take, I think there's 4, 20 minutes of your life, and it's worth every minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, just brilliant. Anyway, sorry. Okay, well, my choices are, starting with the worst, X-Men Last Stand.
It's a shit film.
It's shit. In every way. They
not
just,
a good movie.
They ruined that franchise.
Yeah, it's not a good movie.
X-Men 1, really good. X-Men 2, stop now, please. Yeah. X-Men 3, you fuckers. And then X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Him playing Wolverine is the only good thing that came out of that.
Yes.
That's it.
And Deadpool 3 is in it as Wolverine.
Yeah.
I cannot wait for that.
We went to see Hugh Jackman's show live.
Oh, really?
Fantastic. What a singer.
Awesome.
Oh, man, he can sing.
Oh, I'm jealous.
He does all his old theatre stuff. He does a little bit of the as Wolverine, quite funny, like very briefly. He does all of the Oh God, what's it where he does the circus one?
The Greatest Showman.
Yeah, he does all the Greatest Showman stuff.
Jem
Wow.
and Kay adored that,
Wow.
and
So-
I've got to say,
honestly,
I've got a soft spot for it.
Even like some of the cast, the bearded lady came out.
Oh, really?
Oh, she's incredible. What a show. What a show.
Oh, I'm really jealous.
Yeah, if he ever does it again, you've got to go.
Oh,
Got
no,
to take him to see
absolutely.
it. It's fantastic.
Okay. In third place,
Mm-hmm.
Jackass 2, the movie.
Yeah, good.
Just because it has to be there.
Yeah.
In second place, again, it's really... I was saying that these years of films were hard to talk about. I've also seemed to, like, from 2001 onwards, to have chosen really brutal films for like 3 or 4 years.
I think that's what they all were.
The Last King of Scotland, which is James McAvoy, and again, real story.
Yeah.
Scottish doctor out there ends up being Idi Amin's personal doctor and then fucking one of Idi Amin's wives and having to escape.
I've not seen it.
It is brutal, but it's an amazing film. It's an amazing story, but it is incredibly brutal. But the top film, it's an odd one. 16 Blocks.
I've not heard of that either.
It is Bruce Willis being, as Bruce Willis does, a drunk policeman this time.
Shoes on or off?
Shoes on this time. So basically, he is playing a washed-up police officer. He's coming towards the end of his career, and he's going to get fired at some point anyway. He keeps turning up somewhat drunk or hungover at least, and he gets what's meant to be an easy job. And it's Mos Def, if you know who that is, yeah?
Yep.
And his character, basically, he's witnessed police, not police brutality, corrupted cops, basically. And they give Bruce Willis's character the job of getting Mos Def to the courthouse. It should be a really nice, easy job. But of course, it's not. All the police that are on this corrupted thing have made it so Bruce Willis's character ends up doing this job, because what they're hoping is he'll just turn his back and walk away and allow them to kill Mos Def, and then he never basically stands up in court and says what he needs to say. And instead, Bruce Willis actually turns out as I might be drunk, but I still stand for the police and what it should be. So he does his best to get him to the courthouse, and it's not a fun film, but it is a really good action thriller, and it's about him trying to get him there safe. And there's lots of little backstories, like he doesn't really care about Mos Def, he doesn't really care about what he wants, but eventually he starts to soften towards him, and you find out that Mos Def, he's been in jail, if I remember rightly. He's been out of it, and what he wants is he wants to change his life. He wants to turn it around. What he really wants to host is a bakery, and he's got his little kind of scrapbook with him that shows all the cakes that he wants to learn to bake and make for his bakery. And he said, if you get me to the court and I'm done and I open my bakery, I'm going to send you a cake. And that's how the film ends. It's a really lovely ending with him being sent a cake and a letter from him at this bakery, and he's completely turned his life around, and so does. It's that typical film trope of someone who's trying to turn their life around, and the grumpy police officer that doesn't want to, just want to get on his life, but needs to turn his life around. So they both turn their life around together. It's that sort of film, but there is something about it that is really, really enjoyable, and that's why I chose it for my top film. It's one of those films that I can watch over and over again, which is one of the things we should have said at the beginning. That's one of the things we said about this list, was the idea the top film was a film that we could just watch over and over and over again. If we said, right, let's choose a film today, it's one that we could, I haven't watched that for a while, let's watch it. Not, do I really fancy that? Yeah. You could just pick it and go. And 16 Blocks is that. And again, I'll lend that to you at some point. It's well worth a watch. I mean, weirdly, it kind of fits in there. I don't think I've got it on the list. I might do. There was a film, probably not that far after it, called Unbreakable. Not Unbreakable. Oh, no. What's it called? It's Chris Pine, anyway, just before he became Captain Kirk. And it's about Unstoppable.
Okay.
He's a train conductor with Denzel Washington. And it's about a runaway train. And it's, again, you just sit there glued to it, because it feels like you're watching a real kind of news kind of broadcast of there's this runaway train at the moment. And just Denzel Washington and Chris Pine are amazing in it. It's just really, you wouldn't think it would work so well. And I remember I showed it to my mum and dad, said, look, I've got a film. You'll probably enjoy it. Put it on. I remember Dad sat there mopping sweat off his head towards the end of the film. Like, how are they going to do this?
Yeah.
And that's what 16 Blocks is. You really, really root for them. By the end of it, you find yourself so invested in it that you're rooting for everyone. Anyway, that was 2006.
We did 6 years.
So there's going to be at least 2 more film specials at some point in the next year, probably. So why don't you keep your ears out for that? So let's play the sound effects as we come out of this.
Deactivation complete.
Thank you very much for listening. It's honestly a pleasure to see our little listening count go up, knowing that we're getting out to so many people, or even though it's such a small audience, that we are growing anyway, and that there are people listening to the madness that goes on inside of our brains. Now, if you would like to get in contact with us, you can find us on Twitter, which is @_channel84 for me, TJ, or if you want to speak to Rob, you can find him at Flat Rob. You can also find us on Facebook. The Channel 84 Variety Show will get you to us there. You can get us on Instagram, which is @_channel 84. You can find us on TikTok of the terrible hellhole of the place as it is, which again is @_channel 84. You can share our podcast by using https://pod.link/channel 84. And if you are that old fashioned that you want to send us a fantastic email, you can also do that with podcasts@channel84.co.uk. The final place where you can find all of this listed is channel84.co.uk, where we also have blog posts, we have reviews, we have articles about gaming, we have loads going on there. So head over there. You can find all our contact details that I've said just before also there. You can find the podcast there. You can find links to share. We would love to hear from you, so please do get in contact. Rob, thank you for being my awesome co-host. I love you very much, my friend.
Oh, you're welcome.
And I will see you next week to record episode 10.
Yep.
And this will be out on, I've forgotten what date we said, so whatever the date is.
8 comes out next Monday for us as we're recording.
Yeah, so episode 8 was out on the 12th, so this one is out on the episode. That makes absolute sense, Tom. This one is out on June the 26th, which means the next episode to expect after that will be the 10th of July.
Blimey, that's miles away.
It is absolutely miles away, but that's the benefit of pre-recording these. Right, that is it. We've gone on for way too long. Take it easy, Rob.
Love you, bye.
Bye.